see 4 Big Five teams. You get to see a consolation game, which Temple's in. But the main game will be LaSalle.
You get to see 6 teams and 3
6
games.
teams. Oh, there are 3 games. So there'll be a consolation and a consolation to the consolation. But a full day of basketball we're giving away today for General Knowledge Wednesday. But we have to continue this conversation with the hottest team in pro football right now. Certainly the story in Philadelphia, your Philadelphia Eagles. And we're going to look at, take a different spin on this and get into some hypothetical scenarios for your Philadelphia Eagles. A couple of issues that are on board. Number one, it is the statistics say that the style the Eagles play is unlikely to win a Super Bowl. And we'll get into the details of that with our crack research numbers man, Bill Colarulo, who's here. Hello, Bill.
What's up, Michael?
And we'll also get into the Saquon as MVP, which a lot of people are on board with, including I was reading a column today. Just call it the Barkley Trophy. It could be the first running back since 2012 to be named MVP. And I'm really having a hard time. I think, first of all, I think he's MVP worthy. I don't think that he'll get it because voters are so conditioned to go to the quarterback. Well, we'll get into all these little things. But first, Bill has done some amazing research. And, he's been working on it all week, frankly. He's kept it low-key. But he's had his head buried in the record books. And he's ready to spring it on you today about Super Bowl winning teams and how they rank in passing offense. Now, as we know, the Eagles don't rank very high in passing offense. They are primarily a running team. They have found a formula that works in the regular season, and it's been smart because it has kept the quarterback from turning the ball over. It has kept the quarterback from being it has helped the quarterback be very efficient when he does throw. And it frankly has fomented an MVP candidate in the running back who runs behind maybe the best offensive line in the NFL. But, Bill, the general premise is that no team that has led the league in rushing has won a Super Bowl in the last 15 years. But you go even further than that with your numbers.
Yeah, I've been saying a lot that I think this Philadelphia Eagles team is built for January, that the style of play that they play with is going to help them win playoff games. So I wanted to see if the stats supported that theory with the physicality and the rushing offense. And the stats don't support it. And I know stats can be stats, and they are not necessarily the golden rule. But I did dive deep into the last 15 Super Bowl winners. 11 of those 15 had top 10 passing offenses. 14 out of 15 had top 15 passing offenses. The Philadelphia Eagles ranked 28th, the only team in the last 15 years to be ranked even close to that low to win a Super Bowl are the 2013 Seattle Seahawks. They had the 26th ranked passing offense, and that was that Legion of Boom defense where they were number 1 in yards against, number 1 in points against on defense. So is this Philadelphia Eagles team built to win a Super Bowl? No team, like you just said, has led the league in rushing and won a Super Bowl in the last 15 years. So is that going to be what changes, what allows the Eagles to win a Super Bowl, or are we concerned that this passing offense is ranked so low? And it's an interesting question that I honestly don't know what the answer is, and I'm curious what fans think. Does this passing offense have to be better for them to win a Super Bowl?
Now you've made it difficult on Eagle fans who have been like swimming in optimism about this team winning a Super Bowl. And we're not trying to be negative here. We're just trying to cover all the bases. So knowing that trend, why do you think this year could be different? What is it about this team that could break through that trend? I mean, you did a lot of research. I'm totally impressed. Between protein shakes and Kind bars, you actually hit the books on this.
The crazy thing is, Mike, the last 5 Super Bowl winners, listen to these offensive ranks. Number 6 in passing, number 19 in rushing. Number 1 in passing, number 20 in rushing. Number 5 in passing, 25th in rushing. Number 2, 28. Number 5, 23. So it's been the complete opposite of what you see with this Eagles offense. And I'm curious, is this going to be a formula that can win? Because I keep saying it, they're built for January. The way they play with the physicality and on both sides of the line of scrimmage. But history would kind of tell us that maybe that's not a recipe for success in January. I'm torn on this, Mike, because I'm so excited about the way this team plays. But can they win in January, which is where we are right now with a 10-2 football team, is we're looking ahead. I know Sirianni preaches they got to take it one game at a time, but we're not on the team, Mike, so we can look ahead, which is fun.
Well, we can look ahead and see, this is what I want people to process. All right, we've given you a fact or a factoid, and now it's up to you to counter it, right? As a fan, you need to counter it by either saying, that doesn't matter because, or you go, yeah, it's going to be tough, but we have that fundamental defense that can win a Super Bowl. The defense has to be really good to overcompensate for what they don't do in the passing game. And there are a lot of people that think, well, this defense is that good. And we got Vic Fangio. So those facts that you put out there don't matter. I don't know which way people are going to go on this. But let's move on to the second topic on this, which is Saquon as MVP. Listen, we see him every day, right? And so we know how valuable he is. He has been an amazing player. Without Saquon Barkley, the Eagles would not be second in the power ranking behind the Buffalo Bills right now. So I can easily be convinced, or I can easily do it myself, to prove that he is the MVP. However, here's what I think we're up against. We're up against voters who vote for the MVP, in my experience, are not very innovative. They fall for the okey-doke, which is they fall for the quarterback splash. They fall for the Josh Allen 35-yard breathtaking run to the end zone and the laser pass that he can throw, or the Mahomes magic. Because the quarterback gets every snap. The quarterback has to make things work on it, whether he's handing it off, whether he's passing it, whether he's reading a defense, whether he's calling an audible. He is in control of the game. In a lot of ways, it's been unfair that the quarterback has this much power over a sport. But it is, and he is, the most important position in sports.
By far,
yes.
The most position.
So when you're a voter, it's hard to get past that.
It is. See, look, it really comes down to how you define MVP. If the V really means valuable, most valuable, that's why it always goes to a quarterback. Because you just said it. The quarterback is by far the most important position in sports, or said another way, the most valuable position in sports. And I love Saquon Barkley. I love what he's doing for the Philadelphia Eagles. He should run away with Offensive Player of the Year, and the odds reflect that. But if we're being honest with ourselves and we evaluate the MVP for what it is, most valuable, if you removed Saquon Barkley from this Philadelphia Eagles team, they would win less games. No doubt about it. But if you remove Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills team, I'm not sure they win any games. They're no longer a Super Bowl contender without Josh Allen. They're probably not even a playoff team without Josh Allen. And I don't think you could say the same thing about Saquon. As great as he's been, and I'm not taking anything away from Saquon Barkley, if we are truly awarding the MVP for what it is as most valuable, it's got to go to Josh Allen for the Bills. And I'd love to see Saquon win it. I really would. But that's just not the reality of the award.
Let me read a paragraph from a column today. I think it's David Murphy's column, where he's saying it should be a foregone conclusion that he's the MVP. So he says, now, thanks to the elimination of the technological checks and balances that existed for both the viral nature of groupthink and the totalitarian totalitarian impulses of penance, all of us are living in a thought experiment we can't escape. Now, to that, if I was an editor, I'd say, what the F is that? Right for the masses, MF. However, he goes on to say, in the attention-seeking economy, it isn't enough to argue about whether or not Barkley is the NFL's MVP. The real argument is whether or not the argument can even be had. He's saying there's no argument.
What, that Barkley should be?
Yes.
Again, it depends on how you define MVP, because he also mentions in this article that it used to be called the most outstanding player, except for the years when it was the AP's most outstanding player award. That's why it's become a quarterback. And I agree. If this was the most outstanding player award, Saquon Barkley runs away with it. But when you say valuable, when you put valuable into the award, it's got to go to Josh Allen. Just has to.
Why is it? It's easier for me to say pedantic than pedant. It's weird. It's a weird word, pedant, like singular.
It is a weird word.
All right,
what are the general knowledge topics today?
Well, I'm just going to get to that. The general knowledge topics are today general knowledge category, which I always think Ray has no shot. And then we're going to go back to the movie characters, which Ray might not have another a shot either. But Ray has a big shot in this one. 3-letter answers.
Interesting.
All right, so if I say baby goat, Ray, what is a baby goat? I got him on the first one. It's a 3-letter answer. What's a baby goat?
Yeah, that's a great question.
He doesn't know. So maybe all 3 will be tough for Ray today. And again, the prize is tickets, a 4-pack to the big Toyota Men's Big 5 Classic at the Wells Fargo Center, bringing together all these teams. And we have a championship game between La Salle and St. Joseph's and Villanova on a streak. They won last night. Big win for Villanova, beating Cincinnati, a nationally ranked team. So maybe the Cats are back.
And when you say winning streak, 76ers, baby. That's 2 in a row.
Oh, forgot about the Sixers.
2 in a row.
With a big win last night against the always tough Charlotte Hornets. 610-632-0975 is how you get into the show. Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic. Window Nation, where you can take advantage of their 50% off sale on all style windows, plus make no down payments and no payments with no interest for 12 full months. Just call this number. It's 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com. Oh, the people are angry. The sea was angry, my friends. And Bill Colarulo has stirred him up a little bit to the point where he brought up some facts, but the people are not very receptive to him. In the chat board already, we've gotten, my God, are you insufferable? Or how do you come up with this crap? They don't want to hear negative statistics, which was what I thought. But this is why I brought it up, because I want you to overcome that. The fact is what it is. We're not making it up. It is a fact that running teams usually don't win a Super Bowl unless their defense is superhuman. And no team that's led the league in rushing has won a Super Bowl in the last 15 years. These are facts. So it is now up to you, who know this team so well, to say that doesn't matter because
it's crazy. I mean, part of me is happy that the fan base has made the 180, because now you throw out a question like this and you're getting attacked about how great the Eagles team is. A few weeks ago, when I declared the Eagles as Super Bowl contenders, I was getting it the other way. You're crazy. This team's not a Super Bowl contender. Now I throw out stats of the last 15 years, and I'm being called
mad at you. I knew it would happen. I knew it.
So, and listen, I'm on record as saying I think that this is a formula that will work in January, and that's why I wanted to see if the stats supported what I thought when I watched this team with my own two eyes, and unfortunately, the stats would say otherwise. 15 years of Super Bowl winners, and only one of them won.
But you're leaving out an addendum to that.
Defensive stats?
Yes.
Well, not necessarily.
Uh-oh.
Because
we got somebody on hold who says, well, what were the defensive stats on this team? And look at what we got here.
Well, the only team to win a Super Bowl in the last 15 years that didn't have a top 15 passing offense was the 2013 Seattle Seahawks, and they were ranked number 1 in yards allowed and number 1 in points allowed. Right now, the Eagles are number 1 in, number 1 in yards allowed, number 4 in points allowed. So do they have to now get up to be number 1 in both categories? I don't know. But, yes, defense can win. But there have been defenses. Like, look, the Chiefs last year, number 6 passing offense, they were number 2 in both of those categories on defense, points and yards.
Yeah.
So is it just the defense that can help this team win? That's why we throw out the question. There are so many factors at play, but this isn't a small sample size. I mean, you're talking 15 Super Bowl winners, and only one of them had a pass defense even close to this low? Mm-hmm. I get a little bit concerned, Mike. And somebody on YouTube did point out, and this is a good thing to point out, how many games have they played with the full complement of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert? It hasn't been many.
Yeah, but nobody plays with a full complement.
No, but you'd have to hope.
Season.
You'd have to hope that come the postseason, maybe you have all of these pieces. But really, you know what this comes down to? I mean, we're throwing out these stats. What it really comes down to is the faith in the quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Because if you look at some of these numbers, too, the Chiefs, they had Mahomes. The Rams had Stafford. The Bucs had Brady. The Pats had Brady. When the Eagles won it in 2017, they had the 13th ranked passing offense. But Nick Foles went lights out in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. So it's, do we have faith in the quarterback to get the job done? Like, even the Giants, way back when they won, they had a number 5 passing offense that year, which surprised me. I didn't think that they were that high with Eli Manning, but they were. So, yeah, I mean, fans, I don't know what you're getting upset with me for. I'm just pointing out the statistics.
Well, and you put this is the thing about Sports Talk Radio, Bill. You must know that if you're going to put something out that goes against the grain on what they're feeling right now, which is total optimism that they can win a Super Bowl, they're going to push back at you.
Well, somebody just mentioned on Twitter, and this is what I just said. Birds are the contenders. That's his Twitter handle. And he says, I have no idea why Eagles fans are getting upset about this. They are just facts.
An ally.
You all need to come to grips that the Eagles winning a Super Bowl will fall on Hurts. There will come a time in the playoffs where he needs to win with his arm and not lean on the running game. He's already proven he can do this, and it doesn't bother me. I agree. I completely agree. Even though they're 28th in passing, I do think when push comes to shove, if a moment arrives in the postseason where Jalen needs to win a game with his arms, he'll be able to do it. And you brought up on Monday, Mike, after the Ravens win.
Well, hold on a second. What do you mean by that?
That he will be able to win a game with his arm?
Yeah.
All right. Right where I'm going with it. On Monday, you highlighted one of the biggest plays in the game against the Ravens.
3rd and 7, 9-yard pass to
Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert on a cross.
Jalen Hurts makes that throw. That's a great pass. It's a great designed play. So I do think if a defense is able to shut down this Eagles rushing attack, Jalen will be able to win the game with his arm.
One play.
Maybe that's all it'll take.
No, it's not going to take just
Maybe
one
that's
play.
all it'll take.
He's going to have to consistently make those kind of throws. Let's be fair about this and honest. If they're shutting down the running game completely, I can't see this happening, but if Saquon gets shut down to 55, he's going to have to win the game with his arm.
He would. He would have to win the game with his arm. But I keep going back to, and maybe I should stop looking back at Super Bowl 57. You saw Jalen Hurts do enough in that game where he outplayed Patrick Mahomes with his arm. Not his legs, with his arm. He threw for over 300 yards.
I want to hear what the people have to say about this. We have a couple people at home. We'll get to the calls. Your text also at 610-632-0975. And again, it's general knowledge. 4-pack of tickets for the Men's Big Five Classic this Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center. This is a big deal. The City Six in action, including a championship game between LaSalle and St. Joe's. Tickets are available right now at big5classic.com. However, you can score a 4-pack through general knowledge today. The Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Turning attention to the Panthers. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by AAA Car Care. Save up to $30 on auto repair with their AAA Triple Play. Only at AAA Car Care Centers. Offer valid through December 31st. Details at AAA.com/mycar. The Eagles are 10-2, winners of 8 in a row as they get set for the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina has been better as of late, winning 2 games before the bye, and now playing 2 close games with the Chiefs and Buccaneers in the last 2 weeks. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke yesterday to the media and spoke about the improvement in the Panthers offense surrounding Bryce Young.
Just in the full operation of their offense, I think they've done a good job of coaching him. They have a really good running back in Hubbard. They feature him when they're running play action and boots off of that run game. So I think they've done a good job in their entire offense of finding out who they are within his quarterback abilities.
The game is on Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Birds Insider pregame show will begin on The Fanatic at 10 o'clock. Again, that's live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Speaking of being on 97.5 The Fanatic, 76ers tonight against the Magic. You can hear that game here as the Sixers go for their 3rd straight win. That's right. Last night, they beat the Hornets 110-104. Paul George going for 29 points and 8 assists in that one as the 76ers won back-to-back games for the first time this season. I'm right down on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Gang is all here. You know, I guess it's easy to get misled that Josh Allen is having that much of a better year than Jalen Hurts. And I think these numbers are accurate. There's a comparison overall stats between Josh Allen and Jalen. 12 games each, both 10-2. Completion percentage, whose is higher?
I don't have the numbers in front of me. If I had to guess, I would say Hurts because of the limited amount of throws.
Jalen at 68.4. Passing yards, who's ahead?
Oh, definitely Josh Allen.
Not definitely. 2691 to 2494. Pass yards per attempt, who's ahead?
I would say Jalen because he's had less attempts.
Jalen 8.2 to 7.6. Passing yards per game.
It's got to be Josh Allen.
Yeah, and it's not by much. 224 to 207. Passing TDs, Allen 20 to 14. Interceptions 5 apiece. Those 5 were bunched up early in the season. Rating. Who's higher?
Well, Hurts has been extremely efficient.
101.8 to 100.3. Rushing attempts, 124 for Hurts, 70 for Allen. Rush yards, therefore, 485 for Hurts to 334 for Allen. Rush yards per attempt, Allen. Rush TDs, of course, the tush push, it's Hurts. Pretty close numbers.
It is close number.
So why does everybody think, geez, Josh Allen, he's got to be the MVP over Hurts, certainly over Barkley. But if you're going to make a quarterback argument, Hurts is right there.
It's a good point. Well, listen, if you listen to Nick Sirianni, he says Jalen Hurts should be in the MVP conversation.
He says the game manager is what?
BS.
BS, he said.
Do we have that soundbite, right?
Your favorite coach. Do. Let's hear from Nick. Can't give Nick enough sound bites today. Go.
Can't say enough good things about how Jalen managed that 4-minute. Jalen played an awesome game, and his stats are going to say, right, we didn't throw it a lot. We were 11-19. He had 118 yards, but that guy made runs when he needed to make runs. He made good checks. He managed the game in a 4-minute to take the clock down to use as much time as he can. We haven't thrown it a lot in the fourth quarter in the past month and a half of the season, so, Jalen's stats aren't going to say that, but Jalen Hurts deserves to be in the MVP consideration because of how clean of football he's playing. Like, look at his quarterback rating throughout the last month and a half of the season. Like, Jalen Hurts is a winner, playing great football. He may not have the stats, but because his team's winning in the fourth quarter, he doesn't get to make those stats, but he's just done such a good job. Even though the stat sheet's not going to reflect that, he was on how he managed the game on fourth quarter. He was on about the runs that he made. He was on in the scrambles he made. He was on in the checks that he's made. He was on the third down conversions that we hit and the passes that he hit. This dude's a winner, and he continues to play good football through our stretch.
Well, he said calling him a game manager is BS, and yet he's just called him a manager. He managed the game twice.
He basically described it. Yeah, he basically described it. He did. He basically described it. But I'm blown away, Mike, by that comparison you just did between Allen and Hurts.
Yeah.
I would never have expected it to be that
I didn't
similar.
Either.
So I just went and looked, too, because I was thinking, well, the Eagles don't really throw the ball as much, so maybe that's why his numbers are more efficient. But the Buffalo Bills are 25th in the league in pass attempts. The Eagles are 32nd in pass attempts, but both aren't throwing the ball a ton. So it's interesting. It's interesting because my pick right now, if I had to predict it, I'm picking Eagles-Bills Super Bowl. So I just threw out that no team that was in the outside of the top 15 except for the Seahawks in the last 15 years. Where do the Buffalo Bills rank in passing per game? Let me see. Where do you think they are? They're 17th. So they're still a lot higher than the Eagles. Eagles are 28th, but they would fall outside the top 15. It's an interesting question. I
just think the splash plays that Allen has made has turned voters into the wow factor. It's like, okay, he's a beast, and look, he's a big man, and he's fast, and he's a good. But kind of Hurts is the same way. All right, let's go to the phone. Let's start. Let's go to Dallas to start things with our pal Brian down there. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Bill. I want to say real quick, man, that was great stats that you used, right? but I noticed you said the last 15 years, right? And so right now, this is a pass-happy league. It's just a new fad. That doesn't necessarily say that that's the new way to win a Super Bowl. You know, the past 42 years, you're missing guys like, you know, running was the way to get there. You know, that was the era of the Emmitt Smith, you know, the Franco Harris, Terrell Davis, Jamal Lewis, Roger Craig, you know, Matt Snell, Larry Zonka, Marcus Allen, Walter Payton, John Riggins. You know, that was the fad then. Right now, the formula to win is win. You know, because right now you don't have, like, the backs, as we said, have been undervalued, which is what Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are trying to do now. They said there is value. Okay, we can definitely win by running the football. We absolutely can, particularly because everybody's going pass happy, how poor tackling is now, right? Because if passing was the way to win the Super Bowl, if that was the formula to win the Super Bowl, Dan Fouts would have how many, like 5 rings by now?
Yeah, but here's where you're missing. Today's quarterback can do much more than what Dan Fouts ever could do. And
so can today's running back. And so that can today's running back.
Yeah, but the quarterback, even in passing situations, can make big plays with his legs. You couldn't do that back then.
Right. Well, I hear what you're saying, Mike, but I'm still going to say this. The athletes in general, across the board, are far better than they were back then. So it's not just quarterback. Quarterbacks today are facing much better D-backs, much better defensive schemes as well.
Yeah, but don't you agree it's easier to stop the run these days? If you're making that case, it's like the fast defenders.
I will say it's easier to stop the run, and when you don't have a premier back like a Barkley with the line that he has. I will say that. Okay.
All right, that's fair. I'm glad you added the line in there because he struggled in New York when teams were keying on the run.
But you need some help up front. You need some help up front.
Brian, real quick, before you get your general knowledge, here's the issue that I have, though. With the NFC, you would say the Detroit Lions are probably the toughest opponent for the Eagles to get back to a Super Bowl, right?
I would say that, yeah.
So when you look at the Detroit Lions, they got a top 4 rushing attack, but they also have a top 5 passing attack. See, that's where I have my concerns, is because as good as the Eagles are at running the football, you could say the Lions are equally as good at running the football, but they also have that top 5 passing offense to go with it.
Yes, but to counter that, I can say, who would you say Detroit would go against, particularly with Goff? And you know how he is. He's easily frustrated with pressure. We know that. So who would you put Jared Goff up against, let's say, our defense or even a Ravens defense, and really give that much confidence that he would just throw the ball all over the place? Probably not. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, that's why I think it's so important that game's here in Philadelphia. I think it would be such a different environment. But you want a general knowledge?
All right.
Sure, I'm going to try.
Right, here we go.
You got to get these right, and now you got me on the spot.
Yeah, it's all right. I know you're nervous. All right, so this is the general knowledge category, and here's the question.
Okay.
What is the medical name for the windpipe?
Oh, Lord.
The windpipe.
What is the trachea?
Correct. Whoa, trachea is correct. Wow. Hold on a second, Brian. Brian, how are you going to come to the Big 5 thing if you're in Dallas?
Hey, man, born and raised in Philly. I've just been down here for 30 years.
I get it, but you would have to come up to see the other. All right, well, listen, you qualified for the prize. I don't know how you get up there to actually attend.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he just wanted to get a W.
That's a man that loves Big 5 basketball.
Yeah,
he's about to rearrange his whole life to get up there.
Like, I'm not sure I'm driving from Jersey for the Big 5 championship, let alone Dallas.
You're a hater for that. You're a hater for that. I want you to know that. You don't like college sports anyways.
Are you doing this game?
No.
Oh, you're not doing it?
I'll be there, but I'm not doing
it. No. You'll be there.
No, NBC Sports has all 3 games.
So you attend every game, even if you're not doing it?
I try to attend as many as possible.
Yeah.
I support my alma mater.
Man. You're a TU man. Huh? Cherry and the white, we will fight.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, Ray gets a question.
Same category. Ray, what is the most famous anatomy textbook of all time? Do you need a hint? It was also a very popular TV show.
It's easy, Ray. Come on.
Thank you. I appreciate you. know, I really do appreciate when you say it's easy, because that always helps me get the answer.
Dude, he gave you the hint of all time just now.
Yeah, well, but he's never seen the show. I guarantee you he's never seen this show.
I've
But
never seen.
this book is the name of the show.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, Ray goes down on question
Ray!
1.
Grey's Anatomy, right?
Grey's Anatomy is correct.
Come on, Ray.
Yeah, you know me. I'm locked in at 4 o'clock every day for Grey's Anatomy.
Dude, I have never watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy, but when he asks you a question, what's the most used anatomy book of all time, and then gives you the hint it was a popular TV show. That was a gift.
I knew it wasn't a gift because Ray is not aware of the TV show Grey's Anatomy.
I'm aware of
and
it.
therefore you are.
Yeah, I'm aware the TV show exists.
Oh, okay.
That
well,
was
then
what-
you should have got.
More classic me overthinking of it wouldn't be Grey's Anatomy. There has to be
Oh,
a
you
TV show.
overthought it.
Yeah.
Ray had a rough night, I think. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, Bill is probing. Bill always probes into
Again,
Ray's life.
why wouldn't Ray like the guy? Why is Ray annoyed by
Oh,
the
wait,
guy?
so you're admitting that you don't like me.
So
I'm saying
let
why.
me just explain. Bill says to Ray this morning, Ray, you look a little shabby, like you slept in those clothes. Does that mean you spent the night somewhere else? And
Ray's shaking it. He don't like this conversation. Well, part of it was I was a little late getting here today, and I texted Ray, I'll be there, but I'm in traffic. And he writes back, so am I. And he actually got here after I did.
Ray, did you slut walk this morning?
he did the walk of shame. Ray did the walk of shame today.
These are
Ray,
closed news
did you
this
shame
morning.
walk it? Come on.
No, I did not.
Oh, man. Ray, I didn't bring this up. Just for the record, I did not bring this up
You
on
didn't
air.
Bring this up. You've been peppering this behind the scenes for the last hour.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't set up. I didn't light the dynamite. I just set up the line. Like what?
On a brighter note,
Right.
we got another.
You
Wow.
are a ball breaker when it comes to
I am. But on a brighter note, we have a special guest today in studio.
Oh, my dog is here.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I got my dog in here. Oh, this is a great time for me to pimp my children's book.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a nice little children's book for Christmas, if my dog is live and in the studio today, maybe put her on YouTube.
She's chilling over here.
She's
asleep.
chilling. She just loves to hear voices. She just hangs in the studio.
Yeah, when he says my dog, we mean D-O-G, not his dog, D-A-W-G.
D-O-G. Yeah, D-O-G. My dog Shima, and my children's book is called The Adventures of Shima the Shiba. She's a Shiba Inu. And it's a great book for kids that just started to learn to read. Because what it is the story of her being raised. She actually does the book. It's in her words.
Oh, I like that.
Through my brain. So she is talking to the reader.
Well, she's
And she gets in all kinds of trouble and makes mistakes and has to go to the doctor. And so all these life lessons that for kids are pertinent for kids like it was for her. Because she got into a lot of trouble and had to get out of trouble and grow up.
well, right now she's just chilling over here.
Yeah, she's totally grown up. But when she was a puppy, she was a maniac. And a lot of people that have listened to me talk about this dog through the years, I had a story every day about this dog.
So bringing it full circle, it's kind of like Ray right now with his love life is out of hand, and then he's going to grow up one day.
Exactly. Maturity will eventually set in. So if you want to get the book, and here's the deal I'll make. Like if you get the book, it's on Amazon. You can just put in my name or The Adventures of Shima the Shiba. You'll see the book pop up. And if you purchase the book and somehow get it to me, even if you have to drop it off here or mail it to me, I'll mail it back to you. She autographs books with a paw.
Love it.
All right? So she'll give you the autograph with the paw and a little message to the little Skippy who's reading it, or if the parents are reading it too, the underage kid who doesn't read yet. All right?
I'm having a hard time with the death glare I'm getting from Ray behind the glass.
All right,
I just feel it.
let's go to Dave in New Hope. Dave, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dave.
Back. Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's up, Dave?
Just want to be thankful you're back on air. It's like you're an oasis in the desert to talk radio here in Philly.
Oh, man! Nobody's ever called me an oasis before. You're my wonderwall.
An oasis in the desert.
Yep. So you and the whole crew, it's great to hear everybody on
Thanks,
the midday.
buddy.
It's
Thank you,
awesome.
Dave. We're having fun.
So, Bill, with the stats, the important thing, there's two sides to every coin. So, right, Eagles defense, important, where they rank. But the opposing team of who lost, what was their defense like for passing and running? And why did they lose, right? Could they not stop the run? And I don't know how you're going to, your brother-in-law and Sirianni here, how are you going to be welcome at Sunday dinner saying that, hey, the team's just not good enough to win the Super Bowl with these stats running?
That's not what I said.
I don't know how you're going to do that.
Well, first off, he's not my brother-in-law, even though that's a funny joke. I said that
I listen to you getting offended.
I think that,
you
no,
should
it's
accept
just
the brother-in-law.
No, the
thing.
only reason I have to.
Your brother-in-law and him, Bill.
No, but Dave, the only reason I have to clarify is that's been a joke before, and people have tweeted at me. No wonder that you're his cousin. Like, people think that's real.
Yeah,
but Dave, I'm on record. I do believe that this Eagles team and the formula in which they play is good enough to win in the playoffs. But the reason I threw this out wasn't to say that I don't think they can, is to say that the stats would tell us otherwise. And when you talk about the defenses, I don't know what the defenses were of all of the teams that these Super Bowl teams played leading up to the Super Bowl. But I will say that the one team that didn't have a top 15 passing offense did have the number one ranked defense. So could that be the difference this season? You got the Eagles number one in yards against, number 4 in points against. If this can continue, then maybe the passing offense won't matter because they'll be able to just run the ball down everyone's throats, stop them on defense, and lead us all the way to New Orleans. But let me ask you, if the rushing offense gets stopped in the postseason, do you have confidence that Jalen Hurts would be able to win the game with his arm?
It's tough, right? I mean, everybody knows with Hurts, he doesn't have a strong enough arm. He can't go left. So, he has that going against him. But, the test this past Sunday with the Ravens, that's the toughest defense that they've had to face. And, and it's a team effort, both sides of the ball. They were able to stop Lamar, too. So I think that there's a possibility that they can be triumphant and do it.
Ooh, triumphant. I like it. All right, man, here's your general knowledge question for the Big Five soiree that's happening on Saturday. It is a movie character name. So if I give you the movie character, Jamie Gumb, Gumb, what's the movie?
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, my man gets it.
Wow.
Jamie Gumb was the killer. Hold on a second. That's strong by Dave.
Wait, it wasn't. It
Buffalo
was
Bill.
Buffalo
but
Bill.
His real name was Jamie Gumb.
That's a great pull because
That
I've seen
is
that
a
movie a
great
lot,
pull.
and I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, Jamie Gumb.
Ray was never getting that.
Nope. Not
No,
shot
he
in the world.
wasn't, but here's Ray's. Ray, this should be easy. Billy Hoyle.
I'm going to go Waterboy.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Billy, you're so stupid.
Billy Ho.
White men can't jump, Ray.
White man can't jump. Uh-oh.
0 for 3, Ray.
Is he down 2-0?
Okay, you're counting the GOAT against that wasn't going to count for a point.
You see what happens when you don't get sleep? Your brain doesn't work the way it should work.
Is he down 2-0?
He's down 2-0 already.
He's down 2-0 out of the chute.
You're going to be down a co-host if he keeps talking over there.
Hold on, Ray. You've seen White Men Can't Jump, please. Tell me that.
But the fact of me getting the name of the character was never going to happen.
How's that not going to happen? Billy Hoyle, it's a... man, I'm frustrated with you today, Ray.
Oh, you think you're frustrated with me?
I am frustrated with Ray Dunn.
All right, 610-632-0975. This could be a contest today. The audience, don't mess it up. Keep the lead. Go into a stall. Do something.
It could be over by noon.
It could be. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Turning attention to the Panthers, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage has amazing deals on the holidays' most fun gifts. Get low prices every day on unique finds in-store only at Macy's Backstage. Find location near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily. The Eagles are 10-2, winners of 8 in a row as they get set for the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina's played better as of late, winning 2 games before the bye, and now playing 2 close games with the Chiefs and Buccaneers in the last 2 weeks. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke yesterday about the improvement in the Panthers offense, and especially with Bryce Young.
Just Just in the full operation of their offense, I think they've done a good job of coaching him. They have a really good running back in Hubbard. They feature him, and they're running play action and boots off of that run game. So I think they've done a good job in their entire offense of finding out who they are within his quarterback abilities.
The game is on Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Birds Insider pregame show begin at 10 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The 76ers won their second consecutive game last night, beating the Hornets 110-104. Paul George had 29 points and 8 rebounds in the win. 76ers back in action tonight against the Magic at 7:30. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Ray Dunn in the home, the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Tyrone Johnson.
Good luck to any team.
Yes! Oasis. I'm the Oasis.
Never really had it.
I know, the Oasis you get called. The Oasis of the desert.
Feels the way I do about you now. Oh, man, I love Oasis. Love them. Mike Missanelli Show. It's the 11 o'clock hour. And the 11 o'clock hour is brought to you by Grungo Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. Pray for peace, prepare for trial, grungolaw.com. The good news for the audience, they're ahead 2-0 in the General Knowledge Wednesday clash against Ray. Ray out of the chute, very unsure of himself. Bill has a theory on why. We'll get to that maybe a little later. But you can bury him in this hour.
I would say no.
With a couple of right answers. Just imagine if you go up 4-0, we may ABC News projects that the audience wins.
I'm just wondering if Ray's going to get shut out today.
No, I don't think Ray will get shut out.
We should do a whole one. We should do a whole segment just on movies.
Ray, it really is 0 for 3 because the sample question I gave him.
What was the answer to that, by the way? The baby goat.
A kid.
A kid. That's right.
A kid.
I got a text that said I should have said Ray as the answer to that. 3 letters does work.
There you go. All right, so here's the deal. Bill has set the alarm for people. Not intentionally. Bill provided some facts on the tendency or the trend of teams that win the Super Bowl. And in this day and age, let's face it, the league is a passing league. Why is it a passing league? Well, you get the ball down the field quicker. You get the big plays are what usually wins in the NFL. You break somebody's heart with a big play. That usually comes with a pass. So Bill did some research on the last 15 years of Super Bowl winners. And, Bill, what did you find again?
14 of those 15 Super Bowl winners had a top 15 passing offense. 11 of them had a top 10 passing offense. There's only one team in the last 15 years to win the Super Bowl with a passing offense ranked even close to where the Eagles are ranked right now. The 2013 Seahawks had a passing offense ranked 26th in the league. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are ranked 28th. And I know what people are thinking. Well, that's because they got the number one rushing attack. Well, no team in the last 15 years with the number one rushing attack has won a Super Bowl. So I want the audience to help me feel better because I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that this team is built for January. So I wanted to see if the stats would support my theory, and unfortunately they don't, Mike. So is this team built for January?
Well, the simplifier is that you can probably win with a running attack accompanied by a superhuman D. And so one of our callers suggested, well, those teams, what about their defensive ranking? This Eagle team's defense is among the best in the league, if not the, right now. So the balance of that, you eat up the clock, you run the football, you grind them up, you get their defense tired, then you throw a timely pass. Boom. Meanwhile, your defense holds them off. And that's the formula on how you win.
But then how come we haven't seen that in the last 15 years?
Well, we haven't. I don't know.
You saw it with Seattle.
Have we seen Seattle's was a superhuman defense.
Seattle was the Legion of Boom. Number one in yards against and points against. They were a superhuman defense. But really, why have none of the other superhuman defenses won with lesser-ranked passing offenses? So we say defense wins championships. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true anymore. This league, I don't think it's true. I mean, listen, Kansas City's had a good defense. He's a really good defensive coordinator. But why do they win?
Who?
The Chiefs.
Well, they win because of Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly.
But, look at – I know people say last year's Chiefs team was built on their defense, which is true. They had the number 2 defense. But they still had a top six passing offense.
Yeah, a big play guy like that, you know is going to make big plays. You're not sure that let's face it, you're not sure that he's going to make big plays like Mahomes. So I don't know. It's not a negative statistic that we're trying to alarm people with. It's just like the question is, why do you think this year could be different? This is what I want the Eagle fans to tap into. Why would this team be the team that bucks the trend? And there are logical reasons for that. So here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. Let's go to the text board. We got a lot of text in the first hour. Ray, give me a sample.
All right, we'll start with Miguel in Philadelphia. I don't take too much stock in the rush offense stat regarding Super Bowl winners. It's not that we are not capable of going downfield. We just haven't had to. It's in direct correlation with Hurts stats. They don't pop in the box score, but if you watch, they definitely can go down the field in key spots. They're just so dominant on the ground that they haven't had to rely on the pass game too much.
Now, again, things intensify in the playoffs. So, these kind of trends in the regular season, yeah, okay. Now we're talking about playoffs where these teams really zero in on scouting you and taking away whatever it is you do best.
Yeah, and that's the concern is when they do that, if they're able to scheme up, and maybe that doesn't happen, Mike. Maybe this offensive line and Saquon, because you just saw it against the Ravens, who had the best rushing defense in the league, unable to stop them for 4 quarters. So maybe these fears will never come to fruition. But look, someone in the YouTube chat just said, well, what about the 2015 Broncos? Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball anymore. They won because of their defense. True, they had a number 1 defense, but they were still 14th in passing. You're talking about a 28th ranked pass offense with this Philadelphia Eagles team. Is that too low? Is that too low for this team to win a Super Bowl? I hope it's not. But sometimes the best way of predicting the future is looking into the past. And when we look at 15 years of data, how come no other team was able to win the Super Bowl outside of one that just had a good defense and a bad passing offense? It does raise some concerns for me. But maybe, look, there's still, 5 weeks left in the season? Maybe we start to see this Eagles passing offense take shape with A.J. healthy, Devontae healthy. You're not going to have Dallas Goedert. But maybe they start to use the pass a little bit more. I don't know.
All right. Let's get to the phones. We got Larry in Ventnor. Larry, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
Don't worry too much about Dallas being out. We're going to make it up. I mean, he had like 300 yards before total this year. I know he missed a few games, but don't worry about Dallas. There's a much bigger pressing issue that needs to be addressed right now, Michael. Currently, there's only 2 paperback versions of your book available on Amazon, and you're down to the last hardcover book.
Ooh.
You need to call Amazon and figure it out.
I will. I will call and try to resupply that. You might as well grab that one hardcover.
I know. I'm going to.
You're gonna grab that hardcover, brother.
I got you. And Mike, the picture, circa Penn State graduation, 1985. Can we get an updated picture of you on the Amazon, John?
What, the picture on the what picture?
I'm pulling it up. I got to see what.
Are you talking about the Penn State book?
No, we got the Penn State book. No, when I'm teaching you, it looks like it's your college graduation.
No, I was very young looking when I wrote that book.
How do you spell Shima?
No, he's talking about the Penn State book I wrote, which is
no. It's your picture. It's your picture on the Amazon site. When you put in Mike Missanelli.
Oh, really?
That's not that. That's not that long of a picture. Old of a picture.
I don't even know what that picture is. I'm sorry.
It's the same one as your Facebook picture. It's not that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a recent picture.
He just looks that young, Larry.
Larry.
Wait, Mike, you don't age. I saw you 25 years ago. You look like
I don't take photos well. I'm a lot different looking in person. I don't know what I look like on this YouTube thing, but in any event, all right, I got you. Thank you for the insults.
But wait, while we're on your personal life, I have been listening to you for 30 years. It's the first time you mentioned a significant other last week. Your girlfriend, yeah. Mike. You got to give us a little more than that.
No, I keep my personal life private, bro.
I know you usually do, but do you realize you mentioned?
Well, it's because she was involved in the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Larry, I said the same thing when we went to break. I said, "Whoa, girlfriend." Right. I mean, I knew he had a girlfriend, but he said it.
Right. Never mentioned. We know nothing. Very, very little about Mike Missanelli's personal life.
And here's the reason why. Because Robert De Niro, way back in the day, never he was always this reclusive guy, mystery guy, and it made him more intriguing. So I try. That's
what Ray's doing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Ray likes to be mysterious.
I had no opportunity to do that.
Yeah, Ray doesn't want to tell us what's going on in his personal life. He likes to keep it behind the scenes. And people are like, "Ooh,
it's a little different."
Yeah. I brought her up because she saved my life and did CPR and broke my ribs. So
she did save your life.
Yeah, she did save my life after I passed out.
Well, she's a keeper.
She's a lovely lady. Yes.
She's a keeper.
Yeah.
She commented on the dynamic between Ray and Bill. you were referencing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
She does. She asked me. She said, does Ray hate Bill?
Right.
Yeah.
Ray doesn't hate Bill. They don't hate each other.
I don't know.
I don't hate Ray, Larry, but I'm not sure the other way around.
I think you could cut the tension with a chainsaw, frankly. So.
Really?
Yeah. All right. So what? So what? You wanted general knowledge because your only question was about my book.
The book, and I also mentioned Dallas Goedert, and also don't worry about that our running team doesn't win the Super Bowl. We have the number 1 ranked defense. It's going to be all right.
Okay.
It's going to be okay.
All right. Here's your general knowledge question. It's the 3-letter answers.
Okay.
The 3-letter answers.
I'm ready.
The snake that bit Cleopatra was the.
I'm not going to waste your time. I have no idea. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was the horrible asp.
I wouldn't have got that. Ray, would you have gotten that?
That's actually a line in an REM song.
Did you know that, Mike?
Egypt was something by the horrible asp.
But I got to give you some credit here, too.
But
you were talking about the research that I did of the last 15 Super Bowl winners.
Yeah.
Ray, did you see his sheet for general knowledge today? You put a lot of time into general knowledge today.
What do you mean?
I don't think I'm
all
able
those
to see the
notes
sheet
over
of what
there
it
you
does.
got.
What notes?
Over there.
These are movie characters.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but this is given to me by Mike from Cosmes. I didn't do this.
Oh, I thought you did that.
No. He's like the movie character freak.
I thought that was all the
Mike-
general knowledge
Mike from
stuff.
Cosmes, who brought stuff with it last week, gave me this.
God, I thought those were your notes.
No.
And I'm thinking, man, Mike really put some time into general knowledge.
I used to, like back in the day, I would make lists like this, but now people are willing to feed me. All right, so Ray, you got to get on the board here, Ray. This is the 3-letter answers. Pandora opened one.
Box.
Correct.
That was pretty easy.
All right, there you go. Layup for
That was
Ray.
pretty easy.
It's now 2-1, and we'll get to your calls after this. 610-632-0975. What do you think of this negative stat that's out there? That if you're not a passing team, you have very little chance to win a Super Bowl as much as we love Saquon. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Ricky Vitale.
Mike Missanelli Show. We're talking Eagles, but I meant to bring this up yesterday. You know, I'm all for progress in baseball. I listen to people who are really annoyed by the pace of the game, and they say it's boring, and you had to do these little things. And I've been on board with almost every change they've made because I adapt. I'm a traditionalist in baseball, but I'm adaptive. And I think the pitch clock was fantastic. I went okay with changing the shift. Little things like that to quicken up the game, I'm all for. But this latest thing is like turning it into wiffle ball on the corner. And it's this concept called the golden at bat.
It's ridiculous.
Where now, I'm telling you that most people would be okay with it.
No, I can't imagine.
I'm telling you that most fans would be okay with it because it's a way to trick up the game. And we need tricks anymore to trick up the game, especially in baseball. When people get bored by baseball, wow, this is great. You can get your best hitter up there, blah, blah, blah. But it's so unenforceable. Like, suppose the guy is going to bat in that inning anyway, and you use him for a goal. Like, there's so many things you'd have to work out. You remember you used to play steady hitter or steady pitcher well, you probably never did. But I did. It's like you play 3-man games, right? You had to have a pinch runner because it was your turn to at bat. You were on second base, and you had to come back in and hit.
This reminded me more of maybe Ray will understand this reference. NBA Jam Tournament Edition, when there would be spots on the court where you could get more than 3 points, where you could hit like a 10-pointer. Do you remember that, Ray? Like, that's what this reminds me of. This is for video games, Mike. This is not for Major League Baseball. I can't believe you're saying you think most people would be in favor of this.
I'm telling you, most
can't
people
imagine.
would. And this is a test because I'm telling you that most people would be in favor of that. And, like, this is a great story by Jason Stark, my buddy. And the concept is a team could choose one at-bat in every game to send its best hitter to the plate, even if it wasn't that guy's turn to hit. Now, here's the example. Yankees and Guardians are tied. Juan Soto is not due up. Oswaldo Cabrera is due up in a big spot. They've saved their golden at bat. They go, hey, Juan, grab a stick, and he bats. Now, what home team would not be in favor of that?
Because it's stupid.
No, that's not stupid to a home fan. The home fan would say, of course I want Juan Soto in that spot rather than Oswaldo Cabrera in a big spot. So this is why I'm telling you that most fans would want this.
Do you know they stole this from the Savannah Bananas?
Yes.
Remember when Ryan Howard had the golden at bat and then they struck him out?
Yeah,
right?
they struck him out. 3 fastballs.
Yeah. But, Mike, I can't imagine, even if it's Philadelphia Phillies are in Game 7 of the World Series and the golden at bat could have them bring up Bryce Harper in the big moment, I still would not want to win that way. It's not baseball. It's not real. It's video game type stuff. Don't do this.
The younger generation doesn't care about your damn baseball tradition, which is what I've learned. The younger generation now, to cultivate a younger generation, you have to do things like this. Ray, am I right?
Not with me or not.
Not with you, because you're a traditionalist. You're a sportsman.
Yeah, this
all
rules a load of crap.
And you're a Philly fan, and you don't want to see the game change that way. But I am telling you that most people would welcome this. And there is a strategy involved with it. The strategy is this. You have to pick one point of a game that you want to use that. So, if the bases are loaded in the second inning, would you choose to bust the game open there, or would you save it knowing that maybe you would never use it?
I can't even get behind the strategy, Mike. It's just it's such a. I know what you're saying. You got to modernize the game, and I was okay with them speeding up the game, putting the pitch clock in, because you're not changing the essence of the sport. This is changing the sport. You don't have an opportunity.
You're down by a run in the ninth. You need your guy to get on base. The golden at bat goes to the guy who has the highest on base percentage to lead off the inning if, say, you're at the bottom of the order. And Rojas is up.
Well, you should have to pinch hit for him.
Right.
Pinch hit with him. Pinch hit for a bench
you
player.
You don't have to use a player. If you go to the golden at bat, somebody works a walk, you're ahead of the game. Now, again, here's the problem. If he's on base, suppose he's your two-hitter. Okay, what would you do? How would you work that out?
Well, I'm assuming the golden rule or the golden at bat.
Let's just say it's Turner.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think the golden at bat would allow you to take the runner off base and put
pinch run for him,
and pinch run for
and
him,
then have him hit again. Now, how many people wouldn't want that? Suppose it's Turner, fastest runner on the team. He's got a high on base percentage. Rojas is leading off the inning. You can pick Turner to lead off the inning and take your chances, knowing he's going to bat again anyway.
Ray, can you do me a favor? Can you put up a Twitter poll on our Fanatic Twitter account to see if people are actually in support of this golden at bat? I can't imagine. I would say, if I'm going to guess right now, Mike, I think the Twitter poll is going to come in. Over 80% of people are against it.
Totally disagree with you, because here's why they're even considering this. And this was actually suggested by the commissioner. The commissioner's not a dummy. He's seeing where the game ranks amongst
golden at bat. Maybe we should have a golden baseball, and if you hit a home run, you get 3 runs instead of 1.
Maybe it's headed that way. What I'm saying to you is you have to adapt. If that is part of the adaptation to make the game more viewable for a younger generation who fuels your revenue stream for the future.
But I can't imagine that simply adding this one rule where you could have one golden at bat a game is going to make younger audiences want to tune in for the 9-inning game.
Bill, I'm just saying that they're taking these measures to quicken the game up because people were telling them the game's boring. So this ghost runner thing, instead of going 18 innings, did you like the ghost runner?
I don't mind it, but they don't use it in the postseason. Okay. Because it's not real baseball.
Okay.
It's the same reason why in the NHL they do 3-on-3 in overtime, but not in the postseason.
So you don't have to use the golden at bat in the postseason either. You use it to jazz up the regular season where you need the eyeballs. You're going to get the eyeballs in the playoffs. You need the eyeballs during the regular season. So you trick up the game a little bit.
So now we're saying the golden at bat rule would only be in the regular season, not in the playoffs. Just
like the ghost runner.
Still hate it.
I love the ghost runner.
Yeah, but the ghost runner is a way to, like I said, I don't mind 3-on-3 NHL overtime in the regular season because, it speeds up the game. I can't get behind this,
We're doing 2 marketing research. We're doing one on Twitter. And I would love to do one on the telephone or via the text board. And I'm telling you that most baseball people, unless you're a baseball purist, you're going to dominate the voting. The casual baseball fan would think this is a great idea.
I can't imagine.
All right, here's how you get in. 610-622-0975. Again, it's General Knowledge Wednesday. The audience is in the lead, and you're playing for a 4-pack of tickets to the Big 5 tournament that is happening Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Turning attention to the Panthers. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by PayPal. Get exclusive cashback offers in the app, and with a PayPal debit card, stack 5% more in your chosen monthly category and up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay. PayPal. The Eagles are 10-2, winners of 8 in a row as they get set for the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina has played better as of late, winning 2 games before the bye and now playing 2 close games with the Chiefs and Buccaneers in the last 2 weeks. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke yesterday about the improvement of the Panthers' offense, and especially with Bryce Young.
Just in the full operation of their offense, I think they've done a good job of coaching him. They have a really good running back in Hubbard. They feature him, and they're running play action and boots off of that run game. So I think they've done a good job in their entire offense of finding out who they are within his quarterback abilities.
The game is on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Birds Insider pregame show will go live at 10 o'clock here on 97.5 The Fanatic, getting you set for the matchup on Sunday afternoon. The 76ers won their second consecutive game last night, beating the Hornets 110-104. Paul George had 29 points and 8 rebounds in the win. 76ers back in action tonight against the Magic at 7:30. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Sixers news, ladies and gentlemen. The Orlando Magic in town tonight. Pretty good team. Did the Sixers beat them? Is that a revenge game? I don't know. I lose track of the Sixers W's on who they've beaten. However, there's news. Paul George will be out tonight. Oh, back-to-backs. Guess he can't play back-to-backs either, Paul George. He's out against Orlando after, get this, after playing a season-high 37 minutes Tuesday in Charlotte. Oh, no, seriously. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 37 minutes against Charlotte was like he went from one end of the Sahara Desert to the other?
I'm less angry about that part of the news, Mike. Get to
Here's the other part of the news. Joel Embiid, who's been out for personal reasons and left knee injury management. Interesting that personal reasons is put first. Usually was the second thing they would reference. Is getting back on the court and starting his Bill, fill in the blanks. He's starting his what?
Ramp up process.
He's ramping up.
I can't stand it.
Oh, my God. Please. I can't take anymore. Just don't make the announcement.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's starting his ramp-up process. He remains out.
This is from Tim Bontemps, so this wasn't from the Sixers.
Oh, my God. Well, tonight's a loss. And you said that the Sixers beat the Magic the last time. They did not.
They did
the
not.
Magic won even with Embiid and George on the court.
And without Paolo.
Yeah, they had some injuries that game. The Sixers are getting crushed tonight, Mike, but you may want to jump on the money line now.
What is it?
Right now, it is minus 215 for the Magic. I think that number is going to go
I
up.
got to be honest with you. I may bet $1 million on the money line.
Shoebox game tonight.
I swear to God. Are you kidding me? How can the Sixers win this game tonight? They're coming off a back-to-back. They're not. They don't have George in the lineup. Orlando is an up-and-coming team with Franz Wagner.
Here's the extent of it, too, because we've talked about the two stars, but Keith Pompey just now, Embiid, George, Drummond, who we know has been out with the ankle, and Lowry, also all out for tonight's game against the Magic.
God, man. No, listen, we do the Sixers. I love the Sixers. We have a good relationship with them. I don't mean to criticize them and assassinate them because a lot of people go, well, and even the Sixers, I would probably be perturbed if the flagship station is criticizing them. But how in the world are you going to make me swallow? With all the crap that is going on, with all the Embiid stuff that he can't play, with all these injuries, how are you now going to sell me that Paul George can't play a back-to-back? Are you kidding me? Do the fans deserve something rather than be played like this? Well, if you want to limit Paul George minutes tonight, fine. You can't just hold him out with all the other stuff that's going on. It's a home game.
See, my bigger problem with it is you're right, talking about the fans, but my bigger problem is what is the purpose of load managing Paul George? And I'm asking
he's coming off an injury.
No, but what's the purpose of it? So that he's healthy for the playoffs, right? But you're 5-14. So you're going to load manage your way either into the play-in or completely out of the playoffs. So you don't need to load manage when you're a 5-14 basketball team. You got to start winning some games. So basically, they're waving the white flag saying, we're going to lose tonight. Well, now you're going to be 5-15. The purpose of load management is so that your players are ready for the postseason, and they're setting this up where maybe they don't even have a postseason.
I got to be honest, I'm perturbed by this George thing. I'm perturbed enough about the MB thing. The George thing, the audacity to sit him out on a back-to-back, he's coming off an injury. He played 37 minutes. Like, what are we talking about here? This is not climbing Mount Everest. You owe it to a home game fan base to have him play. If you want to limit him in 25 minutes, you limit him.
Yeah, I think fans are starting to check out, man. It's unfortunate. They got to do something. Look, at the end of the day, as much as we all want championships and that's the purpose, the Sixers are a business, and they need to keep relevancy, and they need to sell a good product for people to want to go. Who wants to go to these games? Ray, you're going down there tonight, aren't you?
Yep.
Are you feeling good about that? What you're going to see? I guess Jared McCain is at least an excitement that brings fans wanting to see the Rookie of the Year potentially. But outside of that, I mean, what are we doing here?
Listen, we have to be subject to foolish, silly stories about how KJ Martin is coming along and Ricky Council IV. They can't play. All right? I got to read propaganda? Oh, these young guys are really coming along. Really? You going to try to sell me KJ Martin and Ricky Council IV? Come on, man. This is a pro league.
Oh, man. But you still have people like this. You still have people like this. Ray Burrows on our YouTube chat. Out of the playoffs right now, but they're only 4.5 games out of the 6th seed. Really? Do you feel good about this Sixers team?
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know if he's just being facetious or if he really means
there are
it.
people who believe because that's the propaganda that's out there. Well, the rest of the conference stinks, so they're still within range. That's not really the point. The point is star player, one of these big three guys that you signed, you're sitting out on a back-to-back. For what reason? What reason? Do you have any deference to people that are fans of this team that are going to go down there tonight?
Well, look, to play devil's advocate with Paul George, he's coming back from the knee.
I don't care anymore. I know he's coming back from a knee.
I'm with you. I'm just saying maybe you get behind. I don't know, man. I'm lost. And I did support this. We've talked about this. Ray and I were on board with the load management, but when you're 5-14 and the season's going the way it's going, I think you got to throw the load management plans out.
14 and your star player is consistently out. You have to play that guy. You can't then be worried about a back-to-back.
I'm
All
with
right,
you, man.
610-632-0975. Let's go to T-Love and Delco. What's up, T-Love?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
How are you?
Oh, my gosh, man. Why even bother to report anything that the Sixers put out? What's the...
Well, the Sixers didn't put that out. It was Tim Bontemps, a reporter. I don't know who he is with. He's with ESPN.
Yeah. I should have put it this way. Who cares? That's what I
care. I care. Paul George should be playing tonight.
You already know. They don't care about us.
Well, that's why I'm perturbed. Because that's a manifestation that they don't care. They're like, it's too much hardship for the guy to play on a back-to-back on a home game because he played 37 minutes last night against a crap team? Come on.
No arguments from me. Like I said, I got season tickets, man, and I can't give them away. So, what do you want me to say about them? Hey, anyway, baseball, this golden bat.
Yeah, golden bat, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's ridiculous. That you know what that reminds me of? That's like going to a Harlem Globetrotters basketball game and watching them. They have a baseball team now that's kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters, I believe.
That's where they got this, T-Love, from the Savannah Bananas. The Savannah Bananas use the golden at bat. That's exactly where this rule's coming from.
Yeah, well, why not just give have a game before the game and do all of that stuff if you want to bring in people or whatever. I don't know what the point of that is anyway. Is baseball really that dead that you need a gimmick like that? Hey,
well,
Phil,
I think among the younger generation, the numbers say yes. That's why I'm saying, like you wouldn't even think of an idea like this unless you need some kind of boost somewhere to sustain the game. And the fact that this came kind of like from the commissioner, well, that tells you what audience they're trying to cultivate.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think, Bill, you brought this up. Why not just give the umpire a bunch of balls, and when he reaches in to throw a ball, have a golden ball come out, and then that ball, if it gets hit over the fence, is worth 3-4. I like that idea. If you're going to do the golden bat, why not do the golden ball also? I like that. It's just as stupid as the first idea.
All right, T-Love, you want a general knowledge question? All right, T.
Why not?
T, the audience is ahead of Ray. All right, so this is the general knowledge category. What gladiator famously led a slave revolt against Rome? It was a monster movie starring Kirk Douglas.
Okay, I'll give you the answer again. Spartacus.
Correct. Oh, I didn't hear you say it the first time.
Well, he got it.
Spartacus is correct.
I am Spartacus.
There you go. What did you watch the movie with Kirk Douglas?
No, I just know that
Oh
line.
man, I was a kid. I watched that movie. They had these chariot races, man, with the spikes on the wheels, and it cut. And poof, you're done in the chariot battle.
No, I did not see that movie.
Really? Oh, why would you?
Ray, you've never seen Spartacus,
I
have you?
haven't seen the movie, but I knew who it was.
You knew who it was. All right, it's 3-1, so Ray needs this.
All right, Ray. You know, these general knowledge questions are tough, Ray. All right, what type of animal can be distinguished from seals by its large front flippers and the presence of visible ear flaps?
Visible ear flaps distinguished from
Now, I
seals.
can tell you that the species of this has been made very famous at a beach near San Diego, where they're now trying to, where people can go up to these animals who are amongst the rocks sunning themselves, and now it's Torrey Pines. Yeah,
Torrey Pines.
but somebody is the administration is stepping in to keep the people away now. What is that?
I didn't catch this part of the attractions when I was out in San Diego. So.
Oh yeah, it's a famous beach out there with this species. In fact, I have a photo of it.
Otters. I don't know.
They go.
He guessed otters.
Otters is close, but incorrect. Sea lion.
Sea lion.
Sea lion.
Is the correct answer.
Interesting.
You know, I once played against the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I did.
What was it, like a celebrity game
the
or something?
Harlem Globetrotters were in town playing at the Spectrum, and they looked for a local radio personality to promote the event to play on the Washington Generals team, which was the team that faced the Harlem Globetrotters.
So they called you over Eskin? Surprise. I would have thought Eskin would have been the choice there, Ray.
You're a freaking idiot. All right,
Why would they ever get annoyed with Bill?
So this is in my young 30s. I still had some game back then.
You could always shoot, right? You had a good shot.
I could play. So anyway, Red Klotz, Ray, speaking of redheads, was the maestro of the whole Washington Generals Globetrotters thing. So and all these Washington Generals guys were good players. Like these are all college-type players. In fact, I met my buddy Kevin, who was the sharpshooter on the team. So before the game, I'm dressing in a dressing room with him, put on the Washington Generals uniform, and Red Klotz comes up to me, and he says, "Hey, have you been playing?" And I go, "Yeah, I play a lot of ball." He goes, "Well, we're going to get you in there. You know, we're going to give you some run." And I go, "Okay, Red. I'm looking forward to this, right? I'm going to play against the Globetrotters. I'm going to get smoked, but still, I'm going to get right in front of this big crowd at the Spectrum. It's going to be fun."
Yeah.
So he sticks me in the game. They foul me right away. I'm dribbling. They foul. I go to the line on a 1-and-1.
Oh, no. Don't tell me there was a violation and you don't get to shoot it.
I missed the first one. Well, no, it's a two-shot foul. It's an intentional foul. I missed the first. I make the second. I hear,
You're out?
he takes me out of the game.
So that was it?
No, that's all the run I got. So now at halftime, the Globetrotters are ahead. Obviously, they're ahead in the game. I'm sitting in the locker room. Red Klotz starts yelling at the Generals because they're behind. He's going, "We're not rebounding." I turn to my play. I go, "Wait, are you guys not supposed to lose?"
Don't they lose every game?
It's bizarre. He's like coaching it, like he's berating him for not being ahead in the game.
But they lost every game, right?
They
Isn't that
lost
the point?
every. Yes, that was the point. Oh my God.
Well, Mikey Miss got a point.
I did. I scored.
You got a point. That all the time.
It's 610-632-0975. Dom on a cell. Dom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dom.
Gentlemen, how are we today?
What's up, Dom?
How are you? I just guaranteed a Sixers win tonight because I just took Mike's advice and put some shekels on the Orlando money line. So that's a guaranteed Sixers win for anybody who wants to bet the other way.
How dare you? Of all the W's that I've given you, ungrateful SOB.
I'm telling you, I followed you, but I'm such a mush when it comes to betting on my own sports teams that I just guaranteed the Sixers to win because I bet the other way.
Oh, you're going to bet with me?
Yeah, he's betting with you, but he's saying he's a mush.
I thought that you were going to bet against me because I was the mush.
No, I'm the mush.
Okay.
Anytime I bet a Philly team, it's the other way. So, yeah, it's a guaranteed.
Yeah, but don't worry, Dom. You make all that money back on the golf course. I know.
I do. But let me talk about the baseball and the wholesale changes to the game.
Go ahead.
If they go to this golden bat or golden ball, I'm out. I'm out on baseball. I don't want to see any fundamental changes to the game. It's a beautiful
You've
game.
already seen fundamental changes in the game. Look what they've done. They got a pitch clock now. They eliminated the shift.
But this
they
is
got
a different
the ghost
level,
runner.
Mike.
They're tinkering with every little thing.
This is on a different level, though.
It is, but that doesn't mean they're going to stop tinkering.
If the thing that baseball needs to do, and the thing that I love about watching baseball is I love to watch the stars, the superstars, but I can't watch the superstars unless I'm a fan of the Dodgers or the Yankees these days. They're signing all the stars.
Well, but hold it a second, Dom. Dom, hold it. If you're a fan of the stars, why wouldn't you be a fan of the star getting an extra at-bat as the golden bat?
Well, that's just the one guy on your team that you're a fan of. Like, I think if baseball wants to recruit a lot of people, they need to do it regionally.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. If you're a pitcher, if you got Wheeler and they send, don't you think that would be intriguing if they send Soto up as a golden at bat to face your guy?
No, because no, absolutely not. It wouldn't be my guy because if I got my fifth starter going, Wheeler's or my second starter going, Wheeler's not pitching anyway. So a Wheeler-Soto matchup in that spot.
Okay, but you can make the same argument that you put Harper up against the fifth starter of somebody else. That gives you an advantage.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I just don't want that.
All right, okay.
All
right, listen, I'm a baseball purist too. I would adapt to it, but I'm telling you, the casual baseball fan would think this is a great idea. Now we're running a poll where I'm getting smoked. But that's only because of people like you, Dom, that love the game and don't want to see the changes. There's more people that want to see changes than not in this world.
Well, let them play flag football instead of real football or something.
All right. Ready for your general knowledge question. Movie characters. Movie characters. I think you're all over this one.
I might get a chance.
All right. Morris Kessler. Or Maury Kessler.
Goodfellas.
Correct.
Oh, good pull, Dom.
Hold on a second. Dom gets it right. Maury's wigs. They don't come off.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
You going to pay me the money? Today.
Yeah, pay me my money. That's a good one. Yeah, he jumps into the pool. Oh.
Yes. All right, Ray. This is not your wheelhouse. But let's go with this. Pete Bell. Sports movie. Pete Bell, played by Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Now you want... All right, yeah.
You want to use your lifeline?
I'll use a lifeline here.
Using the lifeline. Bill's going to save him.
Blue Chips.
Blue Chips is correct. And
yes.
And Shaquille O'Neal. In a starring role, what was his name in it, Bill?
Oh, I remember this. It was like a French name, isn't it?
Yes. He was from Algiers.
Yeah, I know.
French Creole Canadian.
When you say it, I'm going to remember.
Creole.
What was it?
It was Neon Bordeaux.
Yes. What was Penny Hardaway's name in that movie?
Penny Hardaway.
Right?
Ooh.
He was in it too.
Yes, he was. What was his name in it? That's
remember.
A pretty good one.
I don't remember Penny's name.
610-632.
Ricky Rowe.
Well, Ricky Rowe was the white kid from Indiana.
Yeah, that
who got
wanted
the tractor.
The tractor with the bag of money.
That's right. And he was actually Matt Nover, who played for Indiana. What was Penny's name?
I'm looking it up. Penny Hardaway
Bought his mother a house.
Was Butch.
Butch.
That's all it has. Doesn't have his last name.
Just Butch.
Just Butch.
All right. Coming up is the news at noon with Ray Dunn. Stay tuned.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Turning attention to the Panthers, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage has amazing deals on the holidays' most fun gifts. Get low prices every day on unique finds in-store only at Macy's Backstage. Find location near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily. The Eagles are 10-2, winners of 8 in a row as they get set for the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina's played better as of late, winning 2 games before the bye and now playing 2 close games with the Chiefs and Buccaneers in the last 2 weeks. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio met with the media yesterday, spoke about the improvement of the Panthers offense, especially with Bryce Young.
Just in the full operation of their offense, I think they've done a good job of coaching him. They have a really good running back in Hubbard. They feature him, and they're running play action and boots off of that run game. So I think they've done a good job in their entire offense of finding out who they are within his quarterback abilities.
The game on Sunday is at 1 o'clock. The Birds Insider pregame show will go live at 10 o'clock. Getting you ready for that game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And speaking of being right here on 97.5 The Fanatic, you get a chance to hear the Sixers game tonight against the Magic at 7:30 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Paul George and Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond and Kyle Lowry all out for tonight's game against the Magic. Paul George coming off one of his best games of the season, 29 points and 8 rebounds, and a 110-104 win over the Hornets last night. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
everybody. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-622-0975. General Lodge Wednesday. A 4-pack of tickets. Toyota Men's Big 5 Classic. It's this Saturday, December 7th at Wells Fargo Center. I did this first time. He didn't get it. December 7th. A day that will live in infamy.
We did this a couple of weeks ago.
We did.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know the reference now, Ray?
No, you were the one that didn't know the reference.
Ray, you remember now, right?
Don't paint this on me.
Anyway.
You know the quote he's doing now.
Yeah.
The audience is ahead. The 12 o'clock hour is brought to us by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. 0% financing for 72 months. $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. It is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All righty. It's time for the news at noon where Ray Dunn ferrets out 3 interesting stories that we make fun of or comment on or laugh at or say it's ridiculous. Ray, what do we have today for the news at noon?
Given the news we got in the 11 o'clock hour, I almost regret involving Podcast P today because I feel like it's going to elicit a different emotion.
You got a lot of time to make a really good podcast today, I'm thinking.
So let's start with the podcast they put out this week. Drew Holiday joined the show, and they teed him up pretty much to go after Doug Collins.
Man, that was a lot, especially for like a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid. On the low, I kind of praised Doug Collins. That's why we were so good, because we wanted to prove him wrong. We played so well together because we was going against him. There definitely were quite a few times there where it was like, all right, bro, you got to chill.
Do you equate that to that was just old school coaching or old school philosophies, or it was just some bullshit?
I think Doe was a competitor. And I think that at that time, too, him being MJ's coach and him having kind of the accolade or whatever that he had at coaching and being a player, because he used to talk about that all the time. And I mean, he got the Olympic rings tattooed on him. He used to tell us all the time, you know who I coached? I coached MJ. I coached Pippen. We played Brandon Jennings in Milwaukee. That'd be my second or third year. And we got smacked. And he ended up sliding me this number. And he call this number. He waiting for you. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was Scottie Pippen. And I'm like, hello? He yeah. I'm like, bro, Doug told me to call you. He man, he always doing this. He didn't know that I was calling him. I didn't know who I was calling. Stuff like that to kind of show, I coach this person. Or I'm this guy.
Yeah, it's a little power flex.
There was one time in Chicago, I think we lost to D. Rosen by damn near 40, 45 points. He get on the bus, he talking to his son. He I can't believe they would do this to me. They knew I coached here. They knew this and that. And we was we the ones who got smacked.
Drew Holiday revealing that Doug Collins is very difficult to play for. How about that? I like that. See, that's the kind of good flair from Podcast P.
And
that's what you get from
podcast. In spite of him.
Yeah, you get good content every day from Podcast P. You don't get a game every day from Podcast P, but you get a good podcast.
See, this is what I fear to turn into.
Listen, I'm perturbed. I'm perturbed right now with P. All right, moving
along here. They're doing the in-season Hard Knocks on the entire AFC North. One of the clips that came out, Joe Burrow apparently spent $3 million to buy a Batmobile.
Told you I bought a Batmobile?
Did you get it yet, though?
I ain't gonna get it for a year, but I bought it.
That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. You gotta go to the Ventures Batman where he had the ass eye thing on.
I think I gotta go all in and go for the expensive bats.
The suit and all. It's gonna be funny as hell, though. I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna be hilarious. How about that with a cape on, bro?
What if I wore it to every game? I just wore the full bat suit, Batmobile to every game. If I go crazy on Halloween after,
what? I mean, yeah.
Then
I would be whatever, getting to, yeah.
507 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I wear it again. I wear it.
I think Joe Burrow would be that type of guy, but he spent $3 million to buy the Batmobile.
So 2 things off this. One, if you had that type of funds, what's the absurd pop culture thing you're buying?
I'm different. Even if I have money, I wouldn't.
I'm not buying that.
I always say, what's the point of it? If I show it off and I go, okay, I just bought Rocky's trunks that he fought Apollo Creed. and the people go, "Oh, that's nice." Like what do I get out of it? I don't understand the people that do that. What they get out of it, other than they admire their own wealth and they've got some kind of I don't know.
Ray, is this thing street legal? Like, is he able to drive this thing around?
He seems to believe it is.
Because it's the Batmobile from, not the old Batmobile. This is the one from the
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight one. This thing's pretty cool looking.
Now, on top of this, because I'm also with you, I wouldn't spend the money on something like this. I want to call Joe Burrow out for being a fraud. He talks about how awesome Halloween would be with the Batmobile. Previously, on the news at noon, we covered him saying he was not a fan of Halloween.
No. I'm not into celebrating something just to celebrate it. But like, what exactly? I don't know exactly what we're celebrating there. Just like dress up to dress up. I don't know.
You're not a big dress up guy.
I'm not a big dress up guy. I've always been like anti dress code, like if somebody tells me I got to wear something, I don't want to wear that.
This guy's got an identity crisis.
Yeah.
On one hand, he's spending $3 million for the Batmobile, and the other, this disdain for anything that draws attention.
Yeah.
He's saying he's anti-Halloween.
We saying he's anti-dress up, and then we just heard a clip. He may dress up like Batman every single week next year, he said.
I don't get how we get both ends of the spectrum on this one.
Yeah.
I'm calling him out for being a little bit of a fraud on this one. Last one for you here. We'll keep it with pro football. We got the suspension, obviously, yesterday for Azeez Al-Shaair. We got the general manager of the Texans checking in on this suspension, and you could tell they are none too pleased with losing one of their top guys.
Look, it is what it is. I think the big thing from our standpoint, and all teams want this, is just some level of consistency. And we've talked to the league, quite frankly, but we don't have a good explanation. D'Amico talked to them yesterday. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure Azeez will go through whatever process he's going to go through, and then we'll deal with it accordingly. But I think what we take umbrage is just the picture that's been painted about Azeez, his intentions, who he is as a person. I mean, quite frankly, it's bull, and it's unfair to the individual. It's unfair to the organization. I mean, we love everything about Azeez Al-Shaair, what he means to this team, what he brings to this team. He was elected a captain after being here for 4 months. So, again, like, we have a lot of respect for our opponents. We have a lot of respect for other teams in this league. We want to do things the right way.
Well,
we talked about this yesterday.
It'll get reduced.
I think it should. I think it should. I talked about this yesterday. I don't think that people are given enough credit for how fast the NFL is, how fast the game is, for you to make the decision in a split second when you're going full speed to try to stop the guy from getting the first down to now just back off. He should have been disciplined because you're trying to protect the quarterbacks. But, yeah, to go after the guy's character, suspend him for 3 games, and all the backlash he's getting, I think was over the top. I agree with the GM in this.
All right. That is the news.
I don't like
tardiness. We've got Nick Sirianni supposedly coming up at 12:10. But Nick is not at the podium. But that is the news at noon. Good presentation, right? I thought you were going to add the Kyrie Irving story, which I'll talk about a little later because it's a very interesting story how Kyrie thinks that he shouldn't have to pay his debts. Man, I hate that. I hate that when people don't have to feel this responsibility to pay what they owe. You know, Bill?
It's the worst.
It's a terrible thing, and all you have to do, you have to resort to going to court, even though you give the person every chance to pay you what you've earned. And they just drag you and drag you and drag you, and you got to chase them. And then they lie about when they're going to pay you, and they say expect a payment on a certain day, and then they renege on that, and then you get a lawyer involved, and they renege on that to the lawyer, and then it's just annoying. So you only got one redress. You got to take them to court, Bill.
Hypothetically speaking.
Well, no, this is Kyrie Irving's situation, the company that Kyrie hired.
See, I have always had the mentality, I never want someone that I owe something to even have to ask me for it. I think it's embarrassing to have to be asked to pay somebody back something.
You have integrity. And if you owe somebody some money, that you'll do the right thing and pay them instead of dragging them.
Unless you're Sonny. What do you tell Cologero? How much does he owe you? $20. I've been chasing him down for months. $20, he's out of your life.
Yeah, but how about if somebody owes you $85,000?
Yeah, it's a different scenario when it's $20. But no, you shouldn't even have to be asked. And I saw the Kyrie Irving story you're talking about. We'll get to it. What's the over-under on how late Sirianni is going to be, Ray? He's 3 minutes late
I don't
now.
like tardiness.
What are we thinking? 5 minutes late?
I'm thinking 12:15 if I had to guess.
See, now I said to Ray this morning, because we normally break at 12:12. I said, should we break and then come back with Sirianni? And he said, no, because Sirianni will be on time if we do that.
Sirianni's grown up. I think he was on time Monday in the afternoon. I just kind of thought maybe he would finally start caring about us. But as it turns out, he doesn't want that extension. And quite frankly, I'm starting to question whether or not we've really got the guy. At 10-2, 8 straight wins.
Just because he's late.
All right, do you want to try a commercial?
No. Mostly because we've already rearranged all the commercial breaks. So we can take some texts here.
We're gonna hang out here and wait for Nick.
Why don't we get an update on our Twitter poll question?
Oh yeah,
about the golden at bat.
I know I'm gonna get smoked on it, but these are people that are gonna vote on it that like baseball.
So I predicted it would be over 80% no, that they'd be against the golden at bat. Where are we, Ray?
Right now, we are at 92% saying no.
Well, listen, your initial reaction is that's ridiculous. But my point is they're trying to cultivate a younger audience. The way you do that is to trick it up. The kids love tricks, Bill. Tricks are for kids.
So I got one. Instead of the golden at bat, in a big moment, you got your best hitter coming up. He has to go with his head on the bat, do the circle around 5 times so he's a little bit dizzy, and then he gets to swing the at bat.
Now you're being ridiculous.
Why? It's for kids.
Now you're being ridiculous.
It's for kids. Kids love that.
I'm not talking about 3-year-olds. I'm talking about like the 18 to 28-year-old faction. That's what they're trying to, because that's the future audience of the game.
Nah, this is stupid, man. It's just so not. I'm okay with changes that speed up the game, but this is really changing. This is on a different level than a ghost runner, a pitch clock, the amount of times that you could throw over to first. You know what I'd rather see them implement before the golden at bat? How about robo umpires? How about we get balls and strikes correct before we throw out a golden at bat? That's what I'd like to see.
Well, that's coming. The robo umpire is going to come.
And it should. Because it's absurd how many bad calls there are in baseball. Like, how many games did you watch this year where after the game you go to these Twitter handles that you see how many missed calls there are?
Again, I don't even pay attention to that. I don't even pay attention to umpires. I don't pay attention to referee calls. I don't do it. It's not in my nature.
But are you on board with robo umpires? You like that idea?
Yeah, I was an advocate of that way back when I was watching tennis, and they had that green laser that would go boop when a ball was out. I go, it's the same principle. You got the same technology. Why don't you zero in from center field with a laser strike zone, depending on how big the player is? It can't be the same strike zone for everybody. You got Aaron Judge at 6'8", right? You got to adjust the strike zone for him. Yes, I'm an advocate of that. Yes.
Yeah, it's
and I got news for you. I don't even mind if they keep messing around with the game. I was about to say the word.
I think I know what
because I listen to people all the time. I'm so annoyed by them. You know, I'm a baseball purist. I never wanted to see anything change, but I love the ghost runner. I think it's been great. I love the pitch clock. They have made these changes which have enhanced the game. Who's to say this won't enhance the game also? I can't.
I'm saying
why
it's not going to enhance.
I don't understand why you would be upset by it. Now, I'm not advocating for it, but I don't know why you would be upset for it, other than it's so counter the grain of what baseball is about. But in reality, wouldn't it add excitement?
Well, it'd be great for us, because could you imagine after every game being able to second guess when they use the golden at bat?
Of course. Why didn't he use the golden at bat in that situation? Instead, he let Rojas.
I can't, man.
He let Rojas hit that.
I can't do it. I can't imagine coming on the air and getting calls from people who are like, "Did you see when Topper?"
That would add a level of excitement for us.
I can't.
Bryce Harper actually isn't that great in the golden at bat. Is he even worth it?
Yeah, that no stats start coming out.
Well, yeah, the Chiron golden at bats. He's 0 for 17.
Yeah. You know, he's been 4 for 4 in golden at bats.
See, I told you, Harper's not clutch. Look at that golden at bat stat.
I don't think they could properly get Turner ready to bat with the golden at bat.
Oh, by the way, let me tell you, there might be some food out there.
Why? Who dropped off food?
Gaeta's Italian Bakery.
I didn't know this was coming.
Supposedly it's coming. A tomato pie recipe. Tomato pie. Gaeta's Italian Bakery. They're in the Germantown neighborhood, and they start in Northeast Philly, Ronhurst, in that area. They've been serving the tomato pie with the same recipe since 1932.
Love a good tomato pie.
And Gaeta's Italian Bakery, you know what they're saying is, get lost in our sauce.
I like it.
Their tomato pie is really good.
Well, hopefully it's
Is it here?
I don't know. We're supposed to get a delivery from Gaeta's today.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know what we do have right now?
Nick Sirianni.
The head coach.
There he is.
Fire away.
Coach, you guys, you're, 10-2 for third straight year. You've been really successful. When you have a team coming in that doesn't have a great record, do you feel the need to put an extra emphasis on locking in, or is that something you don't really get into because you have a veteran-led team? Kind of, what's just your philosophy on that?
I think our philosophy, no matter who we're playing, what their record is, I think somebody asked me last week, and I don't remember who it was, but is there a little bit more, that we're playing the Ravens? Like, I think that would be malpractice by us as coaches and as players if we were up for some games and not up for some games. Or like we know that this is a talented team that is continuing to play good football. You can just look at their last 4 games; they've played really good football. If you take anybody lightly in this league, it will humble you fast. And so this is a good team that has our attention, and our job each and every week is to be focused on the job at hand and lock in every single week. And that you don't have to go there when that's just your mission. That's just our standard. That's our culture, and that's what we do each and every week is put our head down and work and control the things we can control.
Why do you think they are playing a little bit better over the past month? What have you seen?
Yeah, I think again, there's new guys in there that with Coach Canales being new in there, and then everybody kind of just finding the way of what they're doing. We didn't start off very well here in 2021, and we got it going as the season continued to go on. And so there's probably a little bit of that. There's probably I think the quarterback's doing a nice job. He's a good player. He's drafted where he was drafted for a reason. I think they have talented players and talented coaches. I've always been a fan of their defensive coordinator. I think he's really good. And so I think it's just, again, talented players, talented coaches, and they're meshing together as a culture and with their culture right now, and it's showing.
Nick, with you having a very physical football team, I'm trying to figure out where that was born this year. Did you change training camp in any way to make it more physical, or practices this year or anything like that?
For physicality, we can talk about it as much as we want as coaches, and we talk about it a lot, and we highlight it a lot. We practice it a lot. But it comes down to those guys going out there and being physical, and be physical, you have to have physical guys. And so that starts in the draft process and the, picking up guys in free agency. And Howie and I talk a lot about that, being tough as a team, mental toughness, physical toughness, relentless effort. And so it starts by getting the right guys in here. And so I can't say enough about our guys. Do we emphasize it as coaches? Absolutely. But, we have Landon Dickerson is physical. Lane Johnson is physical. Jordan Maillout is physical. Mekhi Becton's physical. Cam Jurgens is physical. And I can go through the whole D-line, too. They're physical players. They're physical players at their cop. Jalen Carter was physical at Georgia, and he's still physical. And so, again, we emphasize it, but we got physical dudes on this team.
How much has Milton Williams grown as a player, and how much has he taken advantage of Jalen's getting so much attention?
Yeah, Milton's just a guy that, when we got him here in 2021, we were really excited about him, and he's just continued to get better. He's been contributing on this football team for the past 4 years, and he continues to get better, and he is taking advantage of those one-on-one opportunities that he's getting. There's a play in that game. I actually, he beats the right guard, or their left guard, so fast, and he dumped it off to Derrick Henry, and he got a good gain off it. But we beat him. He beat the guy really fast. It was such a good rush, and he's been doing those types of plays have been showing up. And you love his energy, you love his physicality of when he makes a play and how the guys respond to him. And so he's done a nice job. We can look for him to continue to grow as a player and take advantage of opportunities that he's getting.
You mentioned watching every plus 50 punt in college and in the pros each week. What's the most obscure thing you watch every week, or like the most minute detail you watch every week?
When it comes to that, I mean, that's a big one. That probably is, is unique. We watch every interception, we watch every fumble, watch every fourth down decision throughout the league. Won't get too much. Watch every 4 minute, every 2 minute, and those add up. Those start going. I can't say anything that's more unique than that, to be quite honest with you, Zach. It's just the hey, let's learn from everything that we can. Again, I've said to our guys, good teams learn from their mistakes. Great teams learn from mistakes of others, and the good things that others do. And so that's just all you're trying to put yourself into, and watch all those different things like that. I'll have to think about that a little more, see if there's anything any more crazy things that we watch.
What's the biggest thing Jalen's done to cut down his interceptions since the bye week?
I think that's the thing is, like, we've cut down. He's cut down his interceptions, and he's still being explosive as a player, and that's a very tricky thing. Like, hey, we want to win the double positive. What do we talk about? Double positive again. Win the explosive play battle, offensively and defensively, and win the turnover battle. That's not. You have to take risks at times to create explosive plays, and not risk. I mean, but more so like you got to fit. You got to make some great throws with some great reads and all those different things. And so he's just playing really good football right now, and he continues to play really good football. I mean, there's a reason that we're winning, and a big reason is Jalen Hurts, and so. Again, I think what he's doing so well is that he's reading the defense. He's taking what they're giving him. When it's not there, he throws it away, or he creates an explosive play with his legs, and that's something that's so unique to Jalen. And again, he's just doing all the little things, all the minute, boring details that a quarterback needs to do to have his team be successful. Because again, it's when your team's successful, like your quarterback's got to be doing good things, and he really is with every, like, there's things that we don't that aren't obvious to the eye of everybody, of the things that he's doing that's helping us win. Whether that's checks, whether that's throwing it away when he needs to throw it away, whether that's scrambling when he needs to scramble. We all see the highlight plays that he's made, but he's just playing really clean football and doing a great job leading this football team.
Do you expect to have
heading into the season about the pre-snap operation with Kelsey gone, and Jalen's talked about even when you're wrong, you're right, meaning that, like, he knows where the weaknesses are.
Mm-hmm.
How responsible do you think that is for your better numbers against the Blitz?
Yeah, again, just he's just we've all gotten better, right? Like us as coaches, Kellen's done some great things to help us out in there. Teams being unwilling to blitz you at times because they don't want, there's a play early in our game against Green Bay where Jalen does a great job and AJ being on the same page. And they have one guy left to tackle AJ, and AJ breaks it for 40 yards or 20 yards or whatever it was. So it goes, everything plays into that. Jalen, and Cam and Landon being able to set the table of where we start, and Jalen having the all the cards at the end to do what he needs to do, so he knows where his problem is. So he's just done awesome. Credit to everyone involved, particularly Jalen, who has the ball in his hands every single play.
What do you expect to have Dallas Goddard this weekend, and what does CJ Zama bring? He has to step in.
Yeah, we'll see on Dallas as the week continues on. As far as CJ goes, veteran who's just what a great teammate he is. He is, he is. As you look back and you kind of talk to teams that he's been on, as we got him here on this team. Everyone says the same thing. What a great teammate. I think you could ask his teammates, particularly in the tight end room and the offense, of what type of guy he is, and then they'll say the same thing. Great teammate, glue guy, and has done some nice things on special teams and has taken advantage of some of the opportunities that he's had. He had a really good play in 4-minute the other day that he came through and led through on a block on a really good player and was able to get movement there. But yeah, he just brings veteran reliability, and again, bringing guys together on the football team. And then, he's had some, big production where we know if we can throw him the ball, he can do something with it and make plays. And then what he does as a blocker.
That for years,
Two more?
Lane Johnson's not only the best right tackle in the league, but the best tackle. What about your other guy? How do you think he's playing this year?
Yeah, he's really, really good. I love Jordan Mailata, and hopefully you guys know how much I love this football team, because I feel like everybody you ask me about, I'm like, oh man, not only is he a great player, he's a great teammate, and man, there's a reason Jordan Mailata is a captain of this football team. That's what his teammates think of him, to vote him a captain, and he is is he somebody that's just always willing to help other people. I think that's what's so, cool about Jordan, is that he's constantly trying to help other people get better. Who knows? Maybe there's coaching in his future, but he's playing really good football, and he's powerful. In the run game, him and Landon are able to work double teams together. When he has to, when they don't. He's able to move guys in the run game, whether it's inside zone or outside zone, blocking down, blocking out. And then, very reliable in the pass game, such a big body to have to get around. He's a huge dude. I think one thing that the type of shape he's in, I don't think gets talked about enough. Like, he's a big man he's a huge man, right? That could weigh a ton, but he works so hard at his body. He works so hard at being in good shape. So he can be there for his teammates. And I can't say enough about the teammate, and it really is very obvious of how much he wants to help his teammates, everybody involved, from the scout team players to the defensive guys to to his own, to his backup with Fred, how much he helped during that. When Fred played good during his stretch, that credit needs to go to Fred, but Jordan helped him with that as well. But just can't say enough good things about him, and he's playing really good football right now.
Last one.
The fullback / lead blocker position in this offense.
I think what it's done is just give another layer for the defensive to have to pay attention to, and not to get into too much of this. I'm not going to get into the scheme of it, of why it's been helpful for us. But it does, the one thing that, one of the benefits is the layer that it gives the defense to have to defend and have to spend time on and have to study. And, it's been pretty productive for us this year. And I think that, I haven't been on a team that we've utilized a fullback in quite some time. And it's, sometimes you go into it and like, hey, do we need a fullback? And you say, nah. And then you get into it and you start doing it and you're like, man, okay, this has been a good benefit for us. And you build on that, right? And so the confidence that you get because plays, things are being successful, you look to put a little bit more in. And that's how we are with players, that's how we are with plays, that's how we are with personnel groupings. Like, oh, this is good. Let's add a little bit more. Oh, let's add a little bit more. Let's add a little bit more. And so we're excited about that, and we'll continue to use it as we need to.
All right, thank you. We got to clear out quick.
All right, there he is, the mature, the assertive Nick Sirianni.
Yes, he's changed, man. He is a mature,
it's unbelievable,
well-coached, well-stated. I love it all, man.
I do these observations, and that Zach Berman has something special going with him. He's the only guy he calls by his first name. There's no Rube. There's not even a Jeff.
He's dropped a Jeff, I think, a time or two.
But not, it was Zach again.
Well, Dave and Jeff just wrote glowing articles about Nick Sirianni.
Which I'm shocked that he didn't mention their names.
Maybe he will the next time.
All right, 610-632-0975. We're back to our general knowledge category with the audience leads, Ray. And we're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Turning attention to the Panthers, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The Eagles are 10-2, winners of 8 in a row as they get set for the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina has played better as of late, winning 2 games before the bye, and now playing 2 close games with the Chiefs and the Buccaneers in the last 2 weeks. Eagles offensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke yesterday about the improvement in the Panthers offense, and especially with Bryce Young.
Just in the full operation of their offense, I think they've done a good job of coaching him. They have a really good running back in Hubbard. They feature him, and they're running play action and boots off of that run game. So I think they've done a good job in their entire offense of finding out who they are within his quarterback abilities.
Game against Panthers is on Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Birds Insider pregame show will begin at 10 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The 76ers won their second consecutive game last night, beating the Hornets 110-104. Paul George had 29 points and 8 rebounds in the win. Now George will not play tonight, as will Joel Embiid, Andre Drummond, and Kyle Lowry all out for tonight's game as the 76ers back in action against the Magic at 7:30. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update's also brought to you by the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, coming at January 25th, the biggest fighting event ever to hit Philadelphia. Knuckle Mania 5 from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Saturday, January 25th at Wells Fargo Center. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Just a different guy. I'm overwhelmed. The class and dignity that he is showing, Bill.
You're starting to like him, aren't you?
And you're right all along.
You're starting to like this guy. And all he does is win.
I don't know if I like him. I'll accept him.
And look, I've said this many times. It doesn't matter if we like him. As long as the players like him, as long as they play for him. And I think a lot of people will like him if he's standing on the Art Museum steps come February.
The only one I'm going to like if he calls me Mike.
Calls you Mike.
12 o'clock hour is brought to us by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. The folks at Gata brought us some. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're still eating
unbelievable food. This cheesesteak stromboli. My dog is going nuts for me.
Yeah, she's barking at you now.
My dog is up on the chair now, being fed, and the tomato pie is fantastic. So thanks to those guys. All right, couple of Eagle topics that we talked about at the start, and I want to get the people that are listening now engaged in this whole thing. There are two topics that we're going over. One is it's not a negative topic as much as it is a reality stat. And the reality stat is that teams that use the running game primarily usually don't get the ultimate success, which is to win the Super Bowl.
At least not in the last 15 years.
And you have dug out these statistics. Now, people that weren't listening a little earlier, I think, need to hear the statistics.
So currently the Philadelphia Eagles passing offense ranks 28th in the NFL. When you look at the last 15 years of Super Bowl winners, 14 of those Super Bowl winners ranked in the top 15 of passing. 11 ranked in the top 10. There's been only one team in the last 15 seasons to win the Super Bowl with a passing offense even close to 28. It was the Seattle Seahawks, which the Legion of Boom back in 2013. They had the 26th ranked pass offense. They won. But what was more surprising to me is none of the teams in the last 15 seasons led the NFL in rushing that won a Super Bowl. And I know what people's thoughts are with the Eagles team. Well, they don't have to pass because they run the ball. Well, we haven't seen previous Super Bowl teams win it that way. And it surprised me because I've been saying on these airwaves that this team is built for January. The way that they play, built for January, but the stats don't necessarily support that fact. And that's why we're throwing out the question is, does it concern you? Or do you think that when push comes to shove, if a team is able to shut down this rushing offense, that Jalen Hurts and the weapons that they have can make enough plays in the passing game to win a Lombardi trophy?
Okay. Now, people get really upset.
Very upset.
They want to feel 100% on their way to something monstrous. And that stat would say, well, it normally doesn't happen the way the Eagles play football.
People are coming at me on Twitter, telling me I'm insufferable. One person put hashtag boycott WIP. I agree. So there's been a lot of hate.
Yeah.
A lot of hate.
Especially at the boycott, that midday show. Come on, we're a much better show. I mean, let's face it. All due respect.
Hold on, here's a good one. This one just came in. Shut your bald ass head up.
Agreed.
Yeah. Another one. You have the mind and outer appearance of a recently hatched maggot. Simply because I pointed out the stats of the last 15 seasons.
Yeah, let the listeners cook. Let's get a few more.
But see, here's the thing. When faced with that, you just can't attack Bill. What you can do is counterpoint him. Why do you think this year could be different? That's the discussion part. It is what it is, okay? You can't change the stats. Ball don't lie, as we say, right? Stats don't lie.
Correct.
So why do you think this year it could be different? Now, there are a variety of reasons why that the defense is just too good. So this formula this year, with the defense being so good and controlling the football on the ground, that is the formula that's going to work.
Yeah, I think that when I said that the one team who didn't have a top 15 passing offense was the 2013 Seahawks, that is the comparable team for this Eagles team because they were 26th in passing. They were 4th in rushing. Well, the Eagles are 28th in passing, first in rushing. But here's the kicker. On defense, they were number 1 in yards against and in points against. Right now, the Eagles are 1 in yards and 4th in points. So you have to see that hopefully get a little bit better. But that's the comparable team. If you're looking at the last 15 years, if this team can do what the Legion of Boom did in Seattle, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they played every playoff game in Seattle that season, which is more of the reason why the Eagles need to get home field advantage. I don't want to see this defense have to go into Ford Field in a dome where the Detroit Lions have been very effective this season. I'm going to check that, too, to see what the Seahawks did, if all their games were home or not.
All right. Eagles topic 2, the Saquon Barkley MVP case, which was made in the newspaper today. In the Philadelphia Inquirer, David Murphy made the case that he should be the MVP. Usually what you do is you go, okay, how good would that team be without this guy? All right, so how good would the Eagles be without Saquon? Well, they really wouldn't be as powerful as they've been because this guy is on a record-setting pace and on a pace to lead the league in rushing. However, where would a team be without a quarterback like Josh Allen?
I think they would not be a playoff team. I think you could make the argument that the Philadelphia Eagles could still win the NFC East even without Saquon. And it's not taking anything away from as good as Barkley has been.
Whoa, really?
I think they could still win the NFC East without Saquon.
I don't. I mean, seriously, how could you make that case? This is what they do. Because you're then saying they would have to overcompensate by Jalen being the passer. And we've seen he's become that much better player in this kind of vein.
He has. And I think they're Super Bowl contenders with Saquon Barkley. I still think they'd be a playoff team without Saquon Barkley.
And you don't think the Bills would be a playoff team without Josh Allen?
I do not. I think that Josh Allen not only makes them a Super Bowl contender, he makes them a playoff team. If you removed him and you put in Mitch Trubisky, this team is not doing what the Buffalo Bills are doing. They're not considered one of the best teams in the NFL, where I think the drop-off without Saquon isn't as drastic. There's a drop-off. Don't get me wrong. It's not as drastic. And I don't know. I think Eagles fans, we may be looking at it with green-colored glasses to say Saquon deserves it over Josh Allen. If it's most valuable,
I gotta be honest with you. I'm not a homer by any stretch of the imagination, but what this guy is doing almost is like, all right, I know it's in conjunction with a great offensive line, but this guy's really carried this team. And it's like he's setting records.
He has, but I don't know if he would have to. It's working. This formula is working, but I think they could still win games without Saquon Barkley. I'm hoping we never find out. Knock on wood. I don't even want to put it out there. But I felt like they could still win games. Not a Super Bowl contender, but I think they would have still been more wins than losses. With Josh Allen, I think the Bills have more losses than wins if you looked at their record without him. That's my point.
You're a bald-headed brain maggot, whatever the guy said.
I got killed last week, too, for pointing that out,
well, listen,
that the Ravens were good against the run.
I admire the fact that you're being objective with objective statistics that you're throwing out there. And now it's up to the Eagle fans to counterpoint. Let's go to the text board, because the text board is probably countering. Ray, what are the text people saying?
Yeah. No shocker that the text board isn't exactly a fan of what Bill has had to say today and the stats that he lines out. Couple of defenses here. We will start with John and PA. Here's the issue, Bill. The Eagles have a top 10 passing offense, but they don't need to use it. They have a better running game, so they use it. If they needed to pass, they could do it with Brown, Smith, and Goddard.
And it's a valid point that the Eagles' passing offense has the weapons that they could be good. But my concern, when you look at the last 15 years of Super Bowl teams, why hasn't that formula worked before then? Why haven't we seen a team win a Super Bowl in 15 years that, they didn't have to lean on the pass because they had the number one rushing offense? We haven't seen that work yet. We haven't seen a number one rushing offense win the Super Bowl in 15 seasons. So we really believe that this Eagles team is just the only team that has this good of a rushing attack?
Let's face it also. The Eagles haven't gotten behind by enough points to panic where they'd have to use the passing game. They've still been able to use the running game and stay with it and be patient with it this year.
Yeah. And to play devil's advocate, the other side of the coin here, once you have Devontae and A.J. healthy, which you haven't seen a lot this season, maybe this passing offense doesn't come anywhere near finishing the year at 28th. Because, again, I'm giving you numbers for the last 15 Super Bowl winners over the course of the season. There's 5 games left in the season. This team may not finish 28th. They may finish in the top 15 when it's all said and done.
All right, here's how you get in. It's General Knowledge Wednesday, and our categories are General Knowledge, 3-letter words, which should be easy, and movie characters. 610-632-0975. The audience has a slight lead. The final hour will determine. And we're back after that.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Turning attention to the Panthers, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by PayPal. Get exclusive cashback offers in the app and with the PayPal debit card. Stack 5% more in your chosen monthly category on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay. PayPal. The Eagles are 10-2, winners of 8 in a row as they get set for the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina's played better as of late, winning 2 games before the bye. Now playing 2 close games with the Chiefs and Buccaneers in the last 2 weeks. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke yesterday about the improvement in the Panthers offense and especially with Bryce Young.
Just in the full operation of their offense, I think they've done a good job of coaching him. They have a really good running back in Hubbard. They feature him, and they're running play action and boots off of that run game. So I think they've done a good job in their entire offense of finding out who they are within his quarterback abilities.
The game on Sunday is at 1 o'clock. The Birds Insider pregame show will begin at 10 o'clock right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Elsewhere on The Fanatic tonight, you get to hear the 76ers and the Magic at 7:30. Again, that's right on our airwaves this evening. It will be without Joel Embiid, Paul George, Andre Drummond, and Kyle Lowry. All of them out tonight. Paul George coming off a 29.5 rebound and 5 assist performance, or 8 assist performance last night over the Hornets. 110-104. The 76ers won that game. They've won back-to-back games now. Can they go for 3 in a row tonight? Tune in, 7:30, Sixers and Magic. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Magic, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show has been holding court.
Bill has done some amazing research. He's been working on it all week, frankly. He's kept it low key, and he's ready to spring it on you today about Super Bowl winning teams. And Bill, the general premise is that no team that has led the league in rushing has won a Super Bowl in the last 15 years. Knowing that trend, why do you think this year could be different? What is it about this team that could break through that trend?
Mike and Bill have been pleading their cases.
But I keep saying it, they're built for January. The way they play with the physicality and on both sides of the line of scrimmage. But history would kind of tell us that maybe that's not a recipe for success in January. I'm torn on this, Mike, because I'm so excited about the way this team plays. But can they win in January?
As a fan, you need to counter it by either saying that doesn't matter because, or you go, yeah, it's going to be tough, but we have that fundamental defense that can win a Super Bowl. I don't know which way people are going to go on this.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grungo Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas Week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. The 1 o'clock hour of the Mike Missanelli Show is brought to you by Ferguson HVAC. Lion Conklin, you're an HVAC contractor. Your equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job are available at one of Ferguson's counter locations, Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. Yes, what's interesting about this whole thing is that, I know my Philly sports fan peeps so well that I know and I knew that when you brought out those statistics, that it's very rare for a primary running team to win a Super Bowl, people would come out and lash at you because it's like, do not mess with my positivity because it doesn't come around that often. And you're not even allowing me to be positive by bringing those stats in there, Bill. That's what it's all about here in Philly.
I know. It's wild, though, that I'm the one that's getting all the hate when I've probably been more positive about this Eagles team than anybody since the start of the season. But I get it. They don't want to hear things they don't want to hear.
You're a little wounded. You're a little wounded by this.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah,
right? They're crushing him on Twitter, are they not?
Yeah, they've gotten him a number of different ways. This is someone that got him last week that wanted to check in on this conversation. Gavin from Freehold. If you'll remember the guy on Thanksgiving that said Bill needed Rogaine. He wanted to check in 2 different times today. You're really overlooking the Panthers when you're more concerned about the Super Bowl, Saquon's MVP odds, and whether Ray Dunn's love life will finally have a winning season. Just kidding. Eagles by 30. And then jumped in with this. The only teams in NFL history to have the number 1 rushing offense and a passing offense 20th or worse and win the Super Bowl are the 72 Dolphins and the 85 Bears. Both had tremendous defenses. Is the Eagles' defense that good?
Miami was the killer bees.
Wait, and what did he say? The only team to what?
To have the number 1 rushing offense and a passing offense 20th or lower and win the Super Bowl were those 2.
Wow, so you got to go all the way back to 85? My God.
Well,
I
20.
went back.
You went 15 years looking at 15th ranked and above.
Yeah, so he's looking at 20th.
People don't like to hear it. They just don't like to hear it. But listen, it's reality. It doesn't mean you can't overcome it. It doesn't mean it's impossible.
No, it does not. It doesn't mean anything if the Eagles change it up. But we're just pointing it out because, like I said, I have, and you heard it in the holding court segment, I have been saying that this team is built for the playoffs. And I thought that the stats would have supported it, and they just don't, and that's my concern. Look, there's another thing that I pointed out when the schedule came out. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but teams that have a bye week as early as the Eagles had the bye week don't usually get to a Super Bowl either. But as we're living in this right now, I think the early bye week was exactly what this team needed. If they didn't have that bye week after week 4, I'm not sure we're talking about a 10-2 team. I mean, they really did self-reflect. You read the article from Ian Rappaport earlier last week or earlier this week. I can't remember. So
is it pronounced
things can change.
Rappaport? Or is it pronounced Rappaport?
I thought it was Rappaport.
I thought it was Rappaport, too.
What did I say?
You said Rappaport because the coach who dimed out that he used
Rappaport.
He said Rappaport.
Mike Mularkey.
Right. Mike Mularkey said Rappaport. So you have now decided to use Rappaport.
When was the last time you consciously thought about Mike Mularkey? Before the last 2 weeks.
I don't know. All right, so we're gonna we have many more texts, right? Just hit us with a couple more here.
All right, sounds good. We'll go to the MVP conversation with Josh Allen. Bill can make that case about Josh Allen, and it's valid, but I would hit him if that's the case. Jalen Hurts is absolutely an MVP candidate. You take Hurts out of this team, they're not winning at this rate, just like the O-line helps Saquon, so does Hurts' playmaking ability. Saquon would still be dynamic, but I don't believe he has the stats he has without Hurts being his quarterback.
Okay.
It's an interesting point. Well, that goes to Sirianni's point of saying the guy that touches the ball on every single play on a team that's 10-2 should be in the MVP conversation, but Hurts just doesn't have those numbers. But it's a valid point when you have the threat of Jalen Hurts in the RPO and you have the offensive line that you have. Does that help Saquon in a lot of ways?
It seems like you have Uncle Frank's brain, a little bit of a pretzel right here.
Uncle Frank.
Because he says he agrees with you, and then goes on to say, listen, you pick a stock or mutual fund based on track record, and Bill, to his credit, did his due diligence, went 15 years back, and provided content to support that. I just don't see how anyone is stopping Barkley in the O-line, and is anyone going up and down the field on this defense.
Well, that's a really good point, because nobody's stopped it yet. You stop it for a while, and it just grinds you down. Now, do we have any reason to think that some super defensive team is going to stop them? Look at the Ravens. You know, we were all fretting how good they were against the run, and in the end, they broke.
Yeah, they did. And, I mean, look at last season. The Baltimore Ravens had a passing offense that finished 21st in the league, and they had the number 1 rushing offense. And they didn't get to the Super Bowl.
All right. Here's how you get in. 610-622-0975. Before we get to Greg in Bethlehem, it's been hanging. I got a question for you. I read this story the other day about a Boston television news station that was using B-roll shots of life on the streets in Boston. So they had, just like Action News will have South Street or whatever, and so they've got, I don't know if it was Newberry Street or whatever it was, but people walking down the street, and I don't know what they were doing, the weather over it or the news or whatever it was, but walking down the street was Zendaya, the actress singer who was obviously in Ray, help me out. What was the show?
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Zendaya or Zendaya?
Zendaya. I'm sorry, Zendaya, and she's a monster star. Now I was in Boston doing some theater thing, and she's one of the people walking down the
Just
street.
randomly? That wasn't intentional.
Randomly. Now, should you be savvy enough if you're the news people to say, "Hey, isn't that Zendaya?" Right? Like, am I wrong on this? Like, it's just not a regular person walking down the street. Oh, look at that. That's Zendaya. You got a news director. You got reporters. You got the anchors. Shouldn't there be somebody in the control room saying, "Oh, well, hold it. By the way, that's Zendaya. She's in town."
And they just ignored it?
Like, she was just a regular person walking down the street. Now, is that a violation for let's say it's a large market. Boston's a very large market. I can see in Podunk, Kansas, that you're not going to recognize who Zendaya is.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. So she was with her mom. Yeah, local news station in Boston didn't realize they were accidentally filming Zendaya and her mother.
Seriously, is that a violation? Like, would we be ripping a Philadelphia news station that would not know that?
Probably.
I do think it might go the other way for me, though. I think the small town should be more likely to catch the fact that there's a star there than the big city.
Yeah, but it's not like New York City. But she's in town doing shouldn't you be aware of that? She's in town. She's doing a theater thing. Should there be somebody who's supposed to be plugged into all that? This is a news station, right? You're supposed to be all plugged in. That didn't recognize who that was?
No, I got you. And I think you're probably on the right side of history on this one. I'm thinking.
Probably on the right side.
Probably.
I'm trying to think about it in like the split second, the number of celebrities I could go through down a list. But also this might just be me and being pop culture literate on some of these things. Zendaya, I would recognize.
I don't know. I would think in Philadelphia we'd be savvy enough to recognize. I mean, she's just pretty much a star.
Yeah, if she was walking down Market Street, like an old city,
Right.
yeah, I think, oh, wow, that's Zendaya.
Yeah.
I think I'd be able to pick her out. But
all right.
I'm trying to go to bat for the news people, and I'm struggling here. I think I'm swinging and
If
missing.
it wasn't Boston, a major market like that, I'm thinking, man, they got all these new. They're supposed to be all plugged in. Like put two and two together.
This is what's happened to our newsrooms.
I guess.
From cutting people.
That's
you don't
right.
have the Zendaya.
You don't have anybody savvy enough to recognize. All right.
You know what's crazy to me, and I know we're talking about Zendaya, but before we hit the break, is that I have said multiple times in the last 3 hours that I didn't think Saquon Barkley should win the
wait a
MVP.
minute. Are you actually doing it? After Zendaya, and we're going to a break, now you're going to do this with Saquon Barkley?
Well, here's what I'm shocked about. I have said multiple times in the last 3
You
hours.
don't have to defend yourself right
no.
now.
I'm not defending myself.
No. After the break, you can do this.
That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is I have said multiple times in the last 3 hours that Saquon doesn't deserve the MVP. Josh Allen does. We haven't had one caller disagree yet. Not one caller has called these airwaves to say, Bill, you're wrong. Saquon's the MVP. I'm shocked by it. I thought that there would have been a million people disagreeing with me on this. I guess everyone agrees. Josh Allen is the MVP of the NFL.
You think you could have saved
I would say no.
You think you could have saved that?
No, because the point was
Right, what do you
now
think?
during the break, the phones ring.
What do you
For
think?
general knowledge.
What do you think, Brad? You're the producer of the show. Should Bill have held that? Since we
Wait, you're disagreeing with him or disagreeing with me?
I think we could have held that.
Why not? You tease it.
No. Forget. Well, then you could
Inside radio
You
here,
could have
guys.
teased it. Instead, you put the point out. So this is inside radio. So Ray is the producer. Ray, we're just coming off a Zendaya high,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So like you're flowing to the break. Bill could have said.
Yeah, but then we
you know,
would've-
on the other side, I got some really interesting perspective on Saquon Barkley that I can't believe. Now that would be the tease, but you gave it away.
Now,
Yeah,
why are they going to listen?
Or people would have said,
What's
wait,
the
they're talking
purpose?
about Zendaya, and now I hear a commercial. So I'm trying to be like, hey, where's the Saquon Barkley
I'm saying
love?
you could have teased it. You didn't have to reveal it.
Coming up next, we air our grievances with one another.
All right, let me try it again.
These are
Let me try it again. All right, coming up, I got something I got to say about Saquon Barkley.
And this fan base.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
Wednesday, December.
Bill during commercials. Gives you these really obtuse situations. And the thing about Bill, Ray, is he thinks that he's Superman. Like we had this discussion about whether he can hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He's all in. He's cocky that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bill, this is a scenario that you want to throw out to people. I've already answered it. It's no-brainer to me. But go ahead. What is it's a choice here.
Yeah, this is a group chat I have with my golf buddies, and this came out last night. So it was, you have two options here. You could get $1 million right now, just given to you.
$1 million.
No
Give
questions.
It to you right now.
No questions asked.
It's very difficult for me to see another option I'm going to choose.
Option B, you have a chance to win $100 million if you can beat prime Tiger Woods in one hole of golf over 72 holes. And the penalty is, if you don't do it, you go to jail for a year.
This idiot is taking
one hole over 72.
This idiot is taking option B because he is certain that he could beat Tiger Woods in one hole.
Hey.
And risk going to jail if he doesn't.
I'll give you a chance to give a little props to your buddy here. Where do you go to get your back looked at? You think you, at 41, are going to be beating Tiger in his prime in one of the 72 holes?
One hole, yes. Think about it, Ray. All you got to do is birdie one of the 72 holes that he pars, and you win.
Prime Tiger Woods now. Not even now Tiger Woods.
Again, you have to play on the courses that he plays on, or does he come to play on your course?
All right, let's say he's playing at Bill's course.
He plays over at Woodcrest and Cherry Hill.
Okay, now in his prime, he's driving almost every green. And if he's not, he's got a 60-degree wedge that he hits within 2 feet. So he birdies every hole.
And you have to be lucky enough that your birdie lines up with his par. Give me a break.
He'll go 25 under on a regular course in his prime.
I think I could win one hole. Look, he would obviously smoke me. But one hole.
Bill goes, well, what about a par 3? Oh, what's he going to do? He's going to put it on the roof of the halfway house on a par 3?
Let's say it's a par 3. I birdie the par 3, and he two putts. I win.
Wait, how are you going to get it closer to the hole on a par 3 than Tiger Woods, who in his prime could close his eyes and hit an iron within a foot?
They could give him the setup from the end of Happy Gilmore, and I'm still taking him over 72 holes.
You are delusional, man.
No way.
And you would risk going to jail for a year and not take $1 million in your hand because you're so pumped up on your ability that you think you can beat Tiger Woods in one hole.
First of all, they just put up a YouTube poll. Can Bill beat prime Tiger Woods? That's not what I said.
It sounds like the question.
That's not what I said. Well, look, you also got to look at it this way. You get to play 72 holes of golf
and go to jail
with Tiger in his prime.
And go to jail for it.
It may be worth it.
It's worth going to jail for a year.
Hold on, my uncle just checked in on the YouTube chat. I've golfed with my nephew. Take the money. I think one hole.
First of all, you're one of these macho guys that tries to swing 1,000 miles an hour so you can hit it as far as you can. I've seen your type, right? And so, you're what chance do you have to birdie a hole against Tiger Woods?
It's a dumbass question.
Look, I wasn't the only one.
I could hit
this was
95-mile-an-hour fastball easy too.
This was in a group chat with my golf buddies that they posed. A lot of people took option B. One of them said they wouldn't risk B because they wouldn't survive in jail.
You know what? Because everyday golfers, like your buddies, think they're better than they are. First of all, when they'll go head to head with Tiger Woods, do you think that they would have brown stains in their underwear? First of all,
yeah, it would take me.
Don't think that they would step up there and be, oh, this is such a fun day. I'm playing Tiger Woods.
That's why you need 72 holes, because it would take me 18 before I started to calm down that I was with Tiger in his prime. But I think I could win one out of 72.
36 a day. You're saying?
Yeah. So it's a 2-day thing.
2-day, 36 a day, and you're telling me you would not be worn down. A guy like that who plays golf for a living in his prime, who would play 4 straight rounds every week, And you, clunky, even though I know you have health bars and protein shakes, I get it. But you wouldn't be worn down after 36 holes.
1,000%. But think about all you need to do. You got 72 opportunities. If you birdie a hole, or what if you hole out? I think it's worth the risk for the $100 million. The jail part's what makes it tough. The jail part's what makes it tough.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Missing out on $1 million.
I got to get a call before we go to a break here. Greg in Bethlehem. Greg's been holding. Greg, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, guys. You know, in my estimation, in order to win consistently with a running attack, you got to have a stout defense. And I wonder of the teams that participated in the Super Bowls over the time span that Bill was talking about, how many of them had the combination of dominant running game and dominant defense that the Eagles have?
Oh, I'm sure a couple of them did.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Listen, I get it that they're stout, but I'm sure that you.
Well, no, you look, when I said that in the last 15 years, the number one rushing offense has never won a Super Bowl in the last 15 years. There's been dominant running backs in the last 15 seasons.
Yeah.
But have they had dominant defenses at the same time?
So you got to.
There probably have been.
There's probably been, but yes, it's a good question, and that's what you're saying, Greg. May be the difference with this Eagles team is that they have both. They have the dominant rushing attack, and that you think this defense is dominant enough that it could carry them. That may be the difference.
Well, I don't know the answer to my question. I just think that the Eagles have an unusual combination of dominant running attack and
Bill did look back at that, and he came out with what? Built two teams, the 86 Bears and the what else?
What was the question about the top?
Miami Dolphins, the 72 Dolphins.
Yeah, that was the text board. And the Seahawks in 2013 were 26th passing offense, and they had the number one defense in both yards against and points against. So, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's not possible. It just surprised me. Yeah, it just surprised me when you looked at the numbers in 15 seasons that there hasn't been a team outside of one that was built similarly to this Eagles team. That was the point.
I'm surprised it was that lopsided, but, I mean, to me, it seems like the Eagles have the right combination.
Well, you should think that. You're a fan. You know? This is why people are coming at Bill. They don't want anything to mess up their fandom when it comes to being optimistic that they could win something. So it's natural. All these people coming at you, man. I predicted it.
Yeah. Not only am I getting killed there, the YouTube chat is killing me for saying I could beat Tiger on one hole.
It's so typical of you, though.
But hold on,
you can outshoot Steph Curry.
But hold on,
I bet you would say that.
Mike C on our YouTube chat says Bill's talking would wear down Tiger and he would quit before the 72 holes were over.
Now there we go.
Because Tiger doesn't want to chat.
I got a shot,
and you'd be asking him questions about. So Tiger, what that girl that you were seeing when she hit you she hit your car with the 9-iron. Like,
look, I'm like I'm a 16, 17 handicap. I'm not saying I'm a good golfer by any means. I am not a good golfer. But I think over 72 holes, I would be able to birdie enough holes that I could win one.
Oh, my God. Give me the very important Bill text before we get to a break.
Bill, think about your cousin Nick and how upset he would be if you went to jail. Think about the Eagles, Bill.
6-1.
He doesn't need me anymore. He's got all the support from everyone else.
We only have a couple of general knowledge questions left in this show, and the audience can cement it and win the prize of the 4-pack of tickets to the Big 5 Classic this Saturday, and we'll do that after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Turning attention to the Panthers, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Eagles are 10-2, winners of 8 in a row as they get set for the Panthers on Sunday. Carolina has played better as of late, winning 2 games before the bye and now playing 2 close games with Chiefs and Buccaneers in the last 2 weeks. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio met with the media yesterday and spoke about the improvement in the Panthers offense and, of course, their quarterback, Bryce Young.
Just as in the full operation of their offense. I think they've done a good job of coaching him. They have a really good running back in Hubbard. They feature him, and they're running play action and boots off of that run game. So I think they've done a good job in their entire offense of finding out who they are within his quarterback abilities.
Game on Sunday is at 1 o'clock. The Birds Insider pregame show will begin at 10 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic to get you set for kickoff. And speaking of what's going to be on The Fanatic tonight at 7:30, 76ers and the Magic. The game you can hear right here on The Fanatic. 76ers without Joel Embiid, Paul George, Andre Drummond, and Kyle Lowry for tonight's game. Paul George coming off of a solid game last night, 29 points and 8 assists in the win over the Hornets, 110-104. 76ers won back-to-back games for the first time this season. They'll try and make it 3 in a row tonight. This update is also brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services. Got a leaky pipe, having issues with your heat? At Ace Hardware Home Services, they're around the block with everything you need to fix it. They've got the pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services. I'm Ray Dunn for now.
I do is win, win, win. Yes, sir. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-622-0975. Still take your texts and calls. We're going to squeeze it in. Let me get to this call here because he's been hanging for a while. It's Ra in West Philly. Ra, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Ra?
Yes, how y'all doing? Hey, listen, right? I got two things with our 28th passing offense, right? You know why I ain't worried about that? Because I've seen we ain't gonna act like we ain't see Jalen Hurts, right? Put us on our back and air teams out before. The year that we went, even when we had the good backs, right, with Miles and Swift.
No, what happened to Ra?
Ra,
you cut out. You cut out here. Repeat what you just said. We didn't hear the last part.
I said even when we had good backs with Miles Sanders and Swift, we have seen Jalen Hurts air teams out, right? So I'm not really worried about our 28th ranked passing offense, right? And how I look at our team. I'm not saying I don't want nobody to misconstrue me. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is like this player, right? But I look at it as being like a Denver back in the day, as far as with John Elway and Terrell Davis. When John Elway, he was a prolific passer, right? But when he got Terrell Davis, they became strictly a running team, and that's what took them all the way to the championship. And that's how I look at us. I look at us like Miles Sanders and Swift. They would have took us like to the NFC Championship game. But I truly think with our defense and Saquon, I think we win it all.
Oh, I think you've raised a good point about Elway. I think your praise for the running backs, Swift and Sanders, is a little bit too much.
No, I'm not.
They weren't great backs.
No, I'm saying they was good. They were serviceable backs. They can get with our offense. They can get us 1,000. They got us 1,000 yards. But with Saquon, we talking about a different animal there, right? And what I'm saying is with Saquon, he's in a different realm than all them guys. And with our defense playing like it is, the physicality we playing with, and with Saquon, I think this the year that I truly think we can win it all. I would take all bets. I would take all. I think we can win it all just with a Saquon in our defense. But I don't want people to think just because we 28th ranked that we can't air teams out, because we have seen Jalen, right, put us on our back. The year that we went to the Super Bowl, he was in an MVP voting, right?
Yeah.
Whereas though he put us on our back and took us to the chip.
I think you raised some good points, Ra. That's good work by you. Now, you ready for a general knowledge question?
Yes.
All right, it's a three-word answer, a three-letter answer. Excuse me, 3 letters in this answer, and it's biblical. So I say to you, spare the blank, spoil the child.
Spare the blank, away the child.
Spare the rod.
Huh?
Spare the rod.
Spare the rod.
You got some help, man. Come on, Rob. Well, you got your buddy feeding you an answer? That's not right. You're absolutely right. Hold on a second. We're going to give it. Yeah, let's give it to him.
Love it.
Rob Ray saying no go on that.
Well, he's getting crushed. It's 5-2 now, anyway.
There is not a chance. Not a chance. That should count.
Well, I don't know. He had his own lifeline with him.
Wait, how many tickets?
The guy knew the Bible better.
And how many tickets are we giving away?
4-pack.
So, look, his friend wants to go to the Big Five Classic, too.
They can go.
I think he qualifies, Ray. Don't be upset. You get 3 lifelines.
Ray, you can come up from it. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Ray. I'm going to give you 3 in a row just to see you can tie.
Wait, Ray, it matters.
5-2.
Is it 5-2 or 5? You went to me on a lifeline that I got.
Yeah, it's 5-2 still.
Oh, wow. You're really struggling
5-2.
today.
All right, same category. A squid, right? The squid?
Yes.
What is the squid's defense mechanism?
Ink.
That's correct.
5-3.
I never understood why people eat the squid ink pasta. Like, what's the point of that? I don't get it. Like,
It's not too bad. Have you had it?
What's the point? Yeah, I've had it. What's the point? You really need squid ink pasta?
It's like black.
Does it enhance the pasta? I'd rather have a regular pasta.
No, I'm with you on the regular pasta, but.
All right, Ray, I'm going to give you another one. Let's go back to the general knowledge. What 2-letter mantra is often uttered at yoga studios?
2-letter mantra. often uttered.
You got a lifeline for him, Bill?
Yoga studio.
It's the mantra that when you do the yoga.
He said,
What'd you say? That's correct. Now, do you do yoga, right?
No.
Wait, how did you know that?
I mean,
my daughter is a world-class yoga teacher, by the way.
Yeah, he's not kidding. He showed me.
Really, if you look at her Instagram.
Yeah, she's legit.
Her name's Kira. If you look at her Instagram, she's phenomenal. The positions that she can put herself in. She's long and lean. Anyway.
Yoga studios, 2-letter word, Bars on a Friday night, 3-letter word. The girls are screaming, Ray.
Yeah, they're going,
Yeah. I appreciate you trying to make up for the first hour of the show. It's not going to work.
Did he get 2 in a row?
Yeah, it's 2 in a row.
You just got 2 in a row. So this one can actually tie.
This could be for the tie.
Unfortunately, it's movie characters. So let me give you a fair one here where I think you can actually recognize it. Oh boy! All right, you might be able to get this one. Teddy KGB. The movie had Edward Norton and Matt Damon. And Minnie Drive. No, not Minnie Drive. Matt Damon and Edward Norton were in this movie.
Pay the man his money.
Yeah, that's right. And that's John Malkovich is Teddy KGB.
Mm-hmm.
No? Nothing?
Great. It's a great movie,
you
Ray.
will actually like this movie. You probably should see it.
Great movie.
Well, Ray does not come up big.
Rounders, Ray, was the movie.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's worth watching.
4 hours.
It's worth watching. It's
Okay,
about
I'll put it down.
It's about a law student who's a very good Texas Hold'em player, and he takes on Teddy KGB, who's played by John Malkovich.
He's running an illegal gambling parlor. He's a KGB because he's a Russian.
Yeah, it's very
with
good.
a
movie.
heavy Russian accent.
Norton's good in that movie too.
Worm,
yeah.
All right, we got Jeremy in Sicklerville. Jeremy, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jeremy.
Hi, Mike and Mix, my brother. How you doing today?
How you doing, Jeremy? Jeremy, you didn't call last week with the prediction.
No, listen, Mike and Mix. I called, but it was like for almost 45 minutes. I had come for work when I called, but we interview between and jingles and all that stuff. So then at the end of the day, I just shut it down, man.
Oh, Jeremy,
but
lame excuses.
No, I actually called other people on their station, right, and made a prediction. I called and made a prediction. I think on I did. I called other people and made a prediction that we're going to beat the Ravens, and people were kind of like, and I said we will beat the Ravens. It is a good team, but Mikey, I got news for you, man. The news is the Eagles is going to, for the next 2 games, rather, we are going to fly very hard. We are going to beat the next 2 games. And then after these 2 games, I'll make...
Oh, hold on. So you're saying next week, that's not exactly, a prediction. They'll smash that team. However, you're telling me that the mind of Jeremy said, wait. The mind of Jeremy says they're beating the Steelers the following week?
We are beating the next game and the next game, whatever teams they are.
All right.
If you bring the Chiefs this weekend, we will beat them. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, but they're playing a team you can beat this week.
Mike,
right? What?
Well, people have said that, the Eagles, after they went down, when the Eagles fell, in the valley, the last time, they didn't understand that the Eagles, when it falls, it gets up very strong. So everybody gave up on the Eagles.
So you got the vibe. This is a karmic vibe now. You said I'm beating the Ravens, and now you're going the next 2. You vision W, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, if we play the Chiefs tonight, we will win the Chiefs.
All right.
I'm telling you.
You got the good vibe going. See, I trust your vibe. I can tell. You're Johnny Wishbone.
Because we have won all, I think, 8 games now since I started making these predictions based again on my traditional dreams that I have been having, Mike. This is no joke. This is no fun. I'm telling you.
I believe you. Listen, dude, you're in touch with a higher authority than I could ever be. You got some kind of vibe here.
We do.
I trust you.
To you, Mike.
Jeremy, where are you from? Where are you from originally?
Mike, I have told you this thing 100 times, but you know what? A good friend, a valuable friend like yourself, I will answer you all of the time. I'm from Liberia, West Africa.
I know Liberia.
Yeah, I'm from the north. I'm from Nimba County. What the strongest county in Liberia in terms of tradition, in terms of agriculture, in terms of mining, gold, diamond. We have everything, and we have the thickest forest. And I told you.
I know you do, because listen to my college roommate spent a couple of years in Liberia.
Yes, you told me
so
that.
I know Liberia, yep.
Yes, Mike. So, like I said, I hunted a lot with my uncle, my great-uncle, my uncle and my grandfather. I hunted. They trained me in the forest. I saw all of these animals I'm telling you about. When I say the eagles falls, when they fall, Mike, you can go and kill it today.
Dude, listen, I trust you implicitly. Jeremy, thanks for the call. I love you. Jeremy, how do you argue a guy who's in tune karmatically with situations?
You can't.
This man doesn't. He don't play. When it's a dream, it's a dream. Liberian people have, these kind of visions. They lived on the edge for their whole life. They survived coups. That when they feel something, they feel it.
I kind of wanted to ask him if I could beat Tiger in one hole out of 72.
Oh, you asked the text line.
Anybody supporting me on the text line?
Jeremy, focus your dream tonight on whether Bill can beat Tiger Woods one hole in a 72-hole match. Focus, Jeremy.
That's all I need. Is the text board supporting me, Ray?
No. There was one person. Ooh, here we go. There's one. Hey, Bill, maybe in miniature golf. I'd take that. I actually would say less likely.
I think I'd have less chance in miniature golf.
Yeah, just about everyone's saying there's no shot. You could hit from all of the short tees. You wouldn't be able to get it. You would have, saying I could go one round with Mike Tyson. Bill probably thinks he could take on a grizzly bear.
Bill can beat Bobby Fischer.
I'm getting killed on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, Bill can do it all.
Ooh, actually, we did get a good text on this one. Ray, talk him into option 2. You could use a year without Bill. That's a good take. You know what? Go for it, Bill.
All right, it's time. It's time for closing argument.
Now, closing arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident, call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com.
Listen, I'm a man who believes anything is possible in this world. And so when Bill throws out a statistic like suggesting that it is fairly impossible for the Eagles, with a running game primarily, to win a Super Bowl, since in the past 15 years been primarily passing teams that win, and that's the trend in the NFL. But anything is possible. And I believe that with this defense, accompanied by a guy who I don't think can be stopped and held to 55 yards, because they keep working it, and eventually he gets to triple figures. Why would I think that's going to stop? So I believe that in spite of Bill Colarulo's statistics, which are fair numbers to throw out there, he's a fair analyst. It doesn't matter to me a hill of beans. Bill?
Yeah, even though I was the one that provided the stats, I'm with you. I don't think this is going to matter, because I do think this Philadelphia Eagles team is built differently, and they do compare to the 2013 Seattle Seahawks with that Legion of Boom defense that had a strong rushing attack. It's probably not going to matter. The only concern I have is if it did matter, if a team was able to take away the run, or you had to match them score for score, is this passing offense good enough? And I'm going back to what I saw in Super Bowl 57. Jalen Hurts can win a game with his arm if he has to, especially if he has his full complement of weapons in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. So throw out the stats that I said. Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, Mike.
All righty. Ray got slayed today by the audience. And so we have a lucky winner for the 4-pack of tickets for the Toyota Men's Big 5 Classic this Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center. All 6 teams will be in action, and LaSalle will play St. Joe's for the championship. You can get your tickets at big5classic.com, but the winner today is David Burmeister from New Hope. Congratulations to David. He wins the 4-pack. Thanks, everybody, for joining today, playing along on General Knowledge Wednesday. Have a great rest of the night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
who they are within his quarterback abilities.
The game on Sunday is at 1 o'clock. The Birds Insider pregame show